Brews and Banner Podcast. Brews and Banner Podcast. What up? Welcome to Brews and Banner Podcast. I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, is the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
I got water, I got, juice or whatever. It's like, y'all need twin legs? Matter of fact, I do.
My question to everybody is,
does Delaware have an actual culture?
This is the podcast that we talk about beer, but we also talk about a lot of things that's happening in the world, politics, movies, anything really that comes to our mind while we're here sampling these brews. Grab a drink and pull up a chair.
Yeah, they did.
Why they were still recording.
Comedy show. Well, the comments were crazy as I don't know what.
Yo, they was funny. And they were, like you said, they was fast. Like it was fast.
Yeah. Right. If just because you didn't get a concert, you still got something out of it.
You got a comedy show.
Content, right?
Yeah, you definitely got a comedy show. I left till like 2 a.m.
Yo. Crazy
Yo.
watch party last night.
I thought he was going to say something. Play that whole thing up.
Crazy watch party.
Yeah, it was. What up? Welcome to Brews and Banter Podcast, where the topic be the rocket and the brew. Will that be the fuel? And I'm your host, Rob G. And with me, as always, the Legendary Brew Crew. What up, fellas?
What up, y'all?
Popping
in the building.
Everybody's in the building. Right now, we got 2 special guests with us today. We would like to introduce them before we get started. First off, we got Charlie. And if you want social media, is Hobson Charlie. How are you today, young lady?
Hi, I'm good. It's a beautiful Sunday.
Welcome.
And we
we
got
no round of applause, no clap. That was terrible. It's
No.
all right.
That was on his toes, Yoda. Keep him on his toes.
It's fine.
Hey, I got 100 things over here I'm doing.
What?
Huh?
What you doing?
It's supposed to be just him. It's him. Like Babyface last night. It's you, one person.
Hey, exactly. Well, by that, because he was blaming.
You do this. This is what you do every weekend.
Teddy Riley was blaming everybody but himself. That thing is crazy.
Yes.
We also got Vince in the building. How are you, sir?
I'm good.
BG, what's up?
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks for coming.
You got to run on applause too.
Well,
I probably can put them close together, make it seem like I did it right after.
There you go.
Why not?
Before we get too far into it, I need to know what everyone is drinking today. We can start with the lady.
I'm drinking mixed berry sour from Wicked Barley Brewing here in Jacksonville.
Oh, you got the can? Can you show us the can in your screen or no?
It's a crowler actually, but I mean
okay.
I love their crowler label. It's actually pretty cool.
So
it's got like their full label on it, and then it has like a full place where they can write everything down.
Okay.
Not like it's not just like a sticker that they just kind of like pop on there.
And that thing, your hand look little as I don't know what. Holding
that crowler.
Would you be one of those guys in high school to be like, let's compare hand sizes? Is that you?
You kicked him out of the bunch, kicked him out of the lineup already.
Mm-hmm.
He did that 2 weeks ago. Look, and then I do the slow let go. I'll be like, I put my fingers between them.
Creep.
Dirty Yoda.
That's where it starts at. Vince, what you drinking on?
I am drinking White Marble Wit by Monument City Brewing Company out here in Baltimore, Maryland. And that's what this looks like over here. Nice little design.
That's a cool can.
And the can doesn't look that small in my hand, or my hand doesn't look that small. I don't have that problem. Yeah, it's pretty good. It is pretty good. It's I can't give you the full in-depth analysis of it, but it's a cool can, good drink. Kind of reminds me of Hoegaarden a little bit. Has that taste to it.
Mm-hmm.
What's your ABV? I don't know if we got
Charlie
and hops either. What's your
Charlie first. What's your alcohol?
Oh, it's 6%. It's super freshable. Yeah, this is like drinking cranberry juice right now. Honestly, it's my Sunday morning brunch drink.
Wow.
So your mimosa, huh?
Hell yeah.
Oh man. Okay, I'm at 5.2.
Okay.
Which is just like she said. This is like after you have a run, pop one of these boys and sit down, and chill out.
Right.
Nice.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
All right. And Brew Crew, what you drinking?
I guess I can go. I got this blood orange, this cranberry blood orange. Can y'all see the can?
Oh,
Troegs?
that looks so good.
It's real pretty, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this is from Troegs out in Hershey, PA, and this is a cranberry blood orange tart ale, and it was right all about that tartness. And this is a 4.5%. I tried to do something light today because I ain't really feel like drinking a beer, but
Right.
because this was light, bow, I'm with it. And yeah, it just got a tart flavor. You can taste all the cranberries. It tastes like cranberry juice too, actually, with like a little fizz, but it's delicious.
Okay.
Good.
All right,
That sounds really good.
Yeah.
I got Cigar City Brewing out of Tampa Bay, Florida. It's Florida Cracker.
Florida.
It is made with coriander and orange peel. I don't know why we're calling it Florida Cracker. I had to look that up.
So, do you want to know the story behind why it's called Florida
If you
Cracker?
know,
Go for it.
Yeah.
For sure.
So Florida was originally like the biggest cattle state in like the country, and all of the like the farmers and stuff, that's what they were called, was Florida crackers, because they would crack the whip at the cows to keep them all in the same place.
Okay.
So they called it Florida Cracker.
I had a totally different definition of that. But thank you.
I mean, nowadays you
It has the orange peel in. You could definitely get the orange zest out of it. This is what it looks like in a glass, and it was good. Pass me another at 5.5.
Oh, I didn't say pass me another, but yeah, you can pass me another on mine too.
Right. You know, when you pick the beer yourself, you must have some connection to it. You know what I mean? So I think probably all these will be passed.
I just thought the can looked pretty.
Look nice.
That's a connection.
There's no shame in that.
Hey, that's the connection. Yup, you're right.
I said,
A lot of people get it off of that. Also, this beer says that you should not age it. You should drink it very
Immediately.
Very fresh,
after
yeah.
this can. So
Mhm.
it didn't. I couldn't read the date. It was kind of on the bottom of the can. It was kind of messed up. But I'm assuming the date hopefully was in the last 3 months.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
you let a Florida cracker sit too long, they might.
They burn up. They burn up in that hot sun.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Rob was it? Yeah.
Aye.
All right, Dev. What you drinking on?
So
Today
I went back to
Today I have a polo button up with tops. And
I went back to a favorite of mine. I would say called by Weyerbacher. That's the name.
Okay.
Of it. This was the Imperial Mexican style lager that I added a twist to it.
Oh, what's that?
Recommended by
You put the
what's her name?
Undeniable Vixen.
Undeniable Vixen.
Oh, you put the stuff on it?
So she said to try it with this Tajin sauce, like around the ring, like you would do like with a margarita or whatever.
Right.
So this is the 24th anniversary by Weyerbacher Imperial Mexican style lager. Can artwork on there, but she said wet the ring, put the Tajin around there, and it's got like this. The season's got like some some spice to it, but it also has lime in it in the season. So
Yeah.
as you can see, it's a 9%. It's kind of resembles like I guess you would say like a hard wine or whatever. It's very, very little like carbonation to it, but very, very smooth pour like a wine. And the taste is just accented by the Tajin spice that you put around the rim. So I wanted to experience it the way that Undeniable Vixen recommended, and it's definitely an additional pass me another because of that.
Yeah, it was. I think War Cloud had something like that at Fresh Fest that they were giving away. Besides the Apollo Creed cake lemon beer, that they was giving
that
out.
joint was spicy.
Yeah, it was.
I remember that.
Yeah.
I'm sweating after that.
All right, and last but not least, I am drinking from Stitch House. It's called Brosif 2. Stitch House Brewery out of Wilmington, Delaware. I got the Crowler.
Yeah.
It's actually brewed in partnership with Zydeco Brewworks out of Tampa, Florida. And there's a 5.2% ABV, so it's something nice. It's a nice Pilsner. It's pretty clear, as you can see. So it's refreshing, nice and chill. I ain't go too heavy. I do got another one in the fridge. Maybe I'll get to that later, but it's not too heavy either. It's only 7% too. But I'll pass me another on that as well.
Nice.
Yeah, so we got everybody drinking something real nice and chill. All right, that's cool. All right. Before we get into the thing, I just want to ask one question. If everybody saw the live, I don't think everybody did, but if they did,
the watch party.
Yeah, the watch party is. You think Babyface coming back?
He said he was.
I don't think he coming back. He was done.
I think he need a whole sound check and need the okay before they go back.
What ain't he recovering from?
Yeah, that's probably. He probably was like, I'm coming from Corona. And you ain't got your shit right, bro?
Right. I'm tired as hell right now. I can't hardly breathe.
Oh,
all I got to hit a button, bro. I'm just trying to hit a button.
I don't know what Teddy Riley was doing. He was like...
It looked like he was trying to do a whole band shit. Yeah. Like he was about to start singing and start dancing in the background and everything.
Man, way too much. Way too much.
Right.
He was preparing since 11 a.m. for the 9 o'clock show.
He was preparing, but it's Instagram Live. You don't need to do all that. Yeah. Just hook your mic up.
And go.
Some headphones and press play on your iPhone.
Like I just hate
like Babyface told him. Babyface said, "Yo, it's just me over here. I'm quarantining." You know, like
he was throwing slight shade at him. He was like, "Yeah, I'm trying to do this social distancing thing, but you got 100 people in there."
Yeah. He said, "Yeah, I like how you did that theatrical thing at the end."
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, the whole." He said, when you did your head.
That was you said that was cool.
He was like, and it was crazy because even people in the comments were trying to blame Babyface, but everybody knew it was Teddy Riley.
Hey,
the only thing that
everybody knew he gonna say it started when he came on.
Yeah,
no,
Babyface,
it didn't start when Babyface came on.
You can hear the feedback through Babyface, John, because he was listening to it and it was playing. That's what was making the echo. But everything else, as far as his mic and all that bullshit, that was all Teddy.
Yeah, that was trash.
Yeah,
he wasted 500,000 people's time.
But as you can see, we obviously don't have anything else to do because everybody stayed on.
I didn't stay on. I couldn't do it no more. I just gave up on them.
I came back for the Babyface songs because you could hear them clear.
Right.
Okay,
give it to him.
But you played the show. Who knew that Teddy Riley did the show?
I did not know.
Oh yeah, I did because I watched his Unsung or some shit. That's the only reason I knew. But I had
no clue. I'm like Babyface.
11th grade. 11. How you get in the studio at 11th grade and people want to hear your music? Like that's crazy.
Babyface said, "You sure you did that song?"
Right.
Like, how old were you?
They did. Teddy Riley did come out with Dougie Fresh in 2016 on the BET Awards. That's how I knew that he had did it.
I still probably didn't put two and two together.
Yo, I didn't know Teddy Riley did Remember the Time.
I did not. I knew that.
Because in that medley that he did on BET Awards, he did the Michael Jackson. He did that song, and he had Tito come out and play the guitar. And then he had Dougie Fresh came out. So it was a whole nice little medley of all the songs that Teddy did.
The battle would have been epic if it was right.
Yeah. It was scheduled to be epic.
Because it was like Babyface did all those Bobby Brown joints, but Teddy Riley didn't put out My Prerogative yet. So it was like,
I didn't know Bobby Brown and Face did all them songs together either until I heard them yesterday and was like, that's the sound. It's the same sound.
Yeah, once he identified that they did it, then you're like, it makes sense.
But D Nice, as always, come through in the clutch.
He was the party guy last night.
Yeah,
I was already asleep by that time.
Yeah, he came on and played Babyface and Teddy Riley back to back.
Yeah, he did.
About an hour.
Nice.
All right. Well, I guess that's enough of the destroying the culture. Hopefully, he'll build it back up.
Yeah, the memes and the pictures that are out right now clowning Teddy Riley are just unbelievable.
It's so funny.
That's amazing.
I'm still laughing. I'm still laughing.
Did y'all see the one by?
Went in last night for a concert and came out with a comedy show.
Yeah.
You see that Spice Adams joint?
People put their kids in bed early. And cook full dinners. People got dressed to go to their free concert and are upset that they did not get their free worth.
Their free worth.
That's funny.
Tamar Braxton was upset.
Tony was upset. Tony Braxton was on there upset.
Yeah, they were all upset. It was crazy.
I mean, because if you think about it, like their songs was going to be played, probably.
Right.
Right.
So it's like,
well,
come on, y'all.
Well, bro, I guess real quick before we end the topic, right? Who'd y'all have as winning? I picked Babyface.
Babyface is gone. Yeah,
I picked Babyface.
Who did you have?
Babyface.
You had Babyface. What about you, Hops and Charlie?
I didn't watch.
She was
I'm listening to y'all right now, and I'm like, this sounds like a lot of drama that I missed. Maybe I need to go back and watch.
It was funny.
Yeah, these new watch parties on.
I was making dinner.
Oh, see, well, you could have turned him on while he was making dinner.
You're right.
It's the quarantine. It's no excuse.
Right.
Right.
She like Bobby Brown. I mean, she like Babyface and
old niggas.
Teddy Riley is not my wheelhouse.
Right.
I am too young for that.
I feel like it's just funny. Me and my mom were talking about it like a little bit ago because I mean, my mom is from the Caribbean. She's Black. My dad is white. He's from Pittsburgh. Okay. And just the music that we grew up on. I grew up with a lot of like reggaeton playing in the house. I grew up with a lot of like Caribbean island influence music coming through my house, and then I grew up with a lot of like classic rock and stuff like that. So I always felt like I was the one that was just falling so behind because I never got the classic R&B. I never got the classic like African American music playing in my house, and I just never knew. I was never educated on music like that.
Got it.
And so that's why, like, even listening to these conversations now, I'm like, I know who they are now, but I'm still learning. I'm still
well, that's actually kind of
finding that music. Yeah, this is like all brand new to me. This is new.
They said this why they doing it too. Is like bringing the younger people in to let them recognize who they are.
Yeah, because it's like it's
culture.
Yeah, because like my best friend is my age, and she would be able to have this full conversation with you guys, and it's just about that. Yeah,
the difference.
But Charlie, in the same breath, all the music you grew up on, I don't know. Like it's all new. It will probably all be new to me as well. So
right.
Or even the Caribbean music. You probably can name artists that some of us may have heard of, may have not have.
Yeah. But that's the best part about music. That's I think, especially with me being a dance teacher, the more people bring music to me, the better. I have more stuff to work with. I love it. So, talk about it, pique my interest, and then I'm going to go listen to all these people and be like, that's who did this and that's who did that. And it's always a learning curve for me when it comes to music, and I still love it.
Yeah. Well, if you just joined us and you fast forwarded, you are listening to Charlie of Hops and Charlie on IG and I guess every social media platform. Is that where it's at?
So IG and Facebook. I don't really use Twitter too much, and YouTube in the works.
All right.
Yeah.
So while we have you and you're talking, I guess we should just jump into it. I know you gave a little bit of your background, but in terms of where you're from, how did you get into craft beer, and just I guess what is your mission in terms of on your IG page, and what do you do and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm Charlie, Hops and Charlie. Hello. I'm originally born and raised in Jacksonville, Florida. But for the last 5 years, I've lived in Orlando, Florida. And I think that's where I got most of my exposure to craft beer. I have been a bartender for almost 5-6 years now. And, I just realized after a little while of doing it, every single time a liquor rep would come in, or, a beer rep would come in from more bigger name breweries and stuff, more of your, not your craft breweries, not your independent breweries. I would just be like, okay, let me sign the package and move on. And anytime I had more of my craft brewery people come in and show us what they've been brewing that week, namely where I am, Crooked Can comes to my bars a lot. Even Cigar City comes to my bars a lot, and I know that they're, moving in a different direction now. But it was super exciting to have those people come in and show us what they've been working on and show us what their craft is. And I just realized that I had a little bit more of a passion for sharing that with other people. And then when it comes to my page, I think my whole thing is that I just want to make it less scary for people, and namely young girls. I think I was in a group of young ladies recently, and one of my friends was like, and she's Hops and Charlie on Instagram. And they're like, oh, what's that? And I was like, yeah, it's a craft beer page that I run where I get to try new things and share what I'm drinking with people. And every single one of them was like, oh, I don't like beer. I don't drink beer. And I was like, I'm the wrong person to say that in front of. We are going to find that beer that you like.
What you like. Bam.
We're going to
convert
find
them.
it.
You were on a mission at that point.
Yes, there is way too much that is offered in this industry for you to just put a blanket over it saying, I don't like beer at all. And so, yeah, that's more of my mission is to make it less scary, make it less of a challenge for people. Just, find what you like and drink it and share that with people, because who knows what people enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Since you've been, I guess, question for you. Since you've been in the craft beer games, what has been, I guess, what's your favorite beer style?
Yeah, I think right now that's such a loaded question for me. I'm like, I try something and I'm like, officially my new favorite. I don't know.
Fall in love. Okay, so you fall easy. You fall easy.
I fall easy. I fall hard. But right now, I think what I crave the most when I'm wanting to drink a beer has been juicy IPAs, hazy IPAs, and especially ones for some reason with pineapple in it. Just a good juicy pineapple IPA is just beautiful to me. That's all I want to drink. Other than that, I really do love a crisp lager. I really am somebody who would still just like to drink a nice fresh lager while I'm sitting out, or sours. I don't see. This is why this question doesn't work for me. I'll just go through the entire spectrum of beer.
Yeah, she'd be like, beers. I just like beers.
Beer, yes.
That's cool.
Just
No
answer
style.
yes.
What's your favorite beer? Yes.
Yes.
Hey, that works as well.
No,
I could be that. Some people probably accuse me of that as well.
just going on and on. Oh, for sure.
So
Do you have a threshold in terms of ABV? Do you like to stay under, if just because maybe you're not while you're working, but if you were working, do you drink and work, or kind of a more social kind of thing because you're in that industry? And if you do, do you like to stay under or above a certain ABV?
Yeah. So I'm not supposed to be telling you guys this. There's definitely been a couple of bars that I've worked at where the management was like, whatever, have fun with your guests. It's totally okay. But most of the places that I've worked, it's been a no drinking behind the bar. However, it is very easy to get away with saying, well, I have to taste it.
Right.
If I'm selling the product, right. I have to taste it.
That's right.
And many good customers like to buy their bartender a shot, or yo, you've been pouring me all night, even if it's not a beer, they yo, have one with me, just as a nice gesture to take care of their bartender. And
that's always my most recent job was a little bit more corporate, and that was just hey, no drinking behind the bar, period. Mm-hmm. We appreciate that people want to do that. We'd rather you just leave us the $4 tip, and then we can buy our shot after we get off work. Because, we just really are not, trying to get in trouble for that. But there's definitely places where, people would come in and be like, hey, let me go ahead and just buy you a drink while I'm buying my drink. This is going to be our new thing. And it does really help establish a really good, customer bartender relationship that way. And it's always been fun. Doing that, but so I do definitely have tasted it behind the bar, but usually we have to keep it to a minimum.
Yo, so as far as what have you been able to successfully convert any of your friends over to drinking beer?
Oh yeah. One of my girlfriends now, she messages me every single time she has a sour. Every single time she's like, look at this one that I'm trying today. And
she's trying to show off.
My mom, my mom is not a beer drinker at like pretty much at all. My mom grew up on rum. My mom grew up on, stuff like that. So she's she is not a beer drinker at all. But whereas my dad used to be a home brewer, he still does like the home brew. He wants to get back into it. He's one of my like biggest supporters behind my page. He absolutely loves it. He loves, doing this with me. So he drinks beer all the time, but he's very much so a traditionalist where he's like, it doesn't have to be the super juicy hopped up, 10% IPA for it to be good and stuff. And I'm like, give me all of it. Give me all the experimentation. But, we recently found out my mom likes Gozas. She's that salty sweet person, and she loves that play.
The good gateway, they say, right?
Yeah, right. Yes.
That's the gateway.
Yeah, Gozas and sours. Yeah, they always are good. Especially heavily fruited ones. They definitely keep your palate like, oh, this is nice and not too bitter. Because when people think beer, a lot of times they think hops and bitterness and stuff like that. So when you surprise them with that, it always works.
That's what I thought too. Until I started your craft.
I think most of the time when I ask my friends like who have said like, oh no, I don't drink beer, I hate beer, and I'm like, okay, which ones have you tried? And then they go into, the generic.
Yep.
Right.
Pilsner. That's and I'll be like, well, of course you don't like beer. What are you tasting? Like, what are you getting from it? What experience are you having from it? A frat party in someone's basement? Like that's that's not what you're looking for.
Out of a keg that you don't know how long it's been sitting there.
Right, exactly. That you paid $5.
None of us knew. We just knew it was like free. It came with the party.
It came with the party.
Y'all got free parties? Gainesville, you had to pay $5 to get in. What you talking about?
Well, it just depends. Like, we've been to some free ones. I don't know if I ever had to pay to get into a college party where, I don't know.
I normally worked the door, so I did not have to pay.
Right.
Okay. There used to be a lot of my friends that was throwing them, so I don't know. I ain't never paid.
Right.
I've worked plenty of door.
Right.
So Charlie, I got a question for you, right? I'm let the secret out. I'm really not a big beer drinker. I'm a gin guy. I'm a whiskey guy.
Okay.
So I sit at the bar, high level, 1 minute, 2 minutes. Give me your way of walking me through and introducing me to it, right? Tell me how that works, right? Because I know it's different for different spirits, right? Even wine, right? They're going to ask certain questions. So if I sit at the bar and I say, I'm new to beer, I don't want the Pilsner, I don't want the Budweiser, I don't want the Pabst, you know what I mean? None of that. Walk me through that. What are you going to ask me?
So I'm probably going to ask you said you're gin and whiskey, like what part about gin and whiskey do you enjoy? Like with whiskey, do you enjoy having more of that like chest burn, warmth through your body? Or with gin, are you looking for more of that botanical flavor where you get your juniper, you get your florals, you get stuff like that? Like I'm going to ask you questions like that, probably see which one you're more leaning towards, because that also depends on the day. Like you're not going to drink gin every day. You're also not going to drink whiskey every day. You're going to want to choose what your flavor is that day.
I would argue that I actually got about 7 bottles of gin.
He's like, no, I drink gin every day.
Lush.
But if you're feeling gin that day, gin can go in so many different directions, even though it is a pretty prominent flavor itself. But if you're telling me I like to go for more of like a lighter floral taste, then I'm probably going to suggest something that I might have in my wheelhouse that's going to follow that kind of flavor for you. Just so that it's not so much of a culture shock for your mouth when you try it, because I could give you a stout, but that's not going to probably be what you're looking for.
Right. And do you also do food pairings with that? Like, so you say, all right, well, this might taste good with a burger. This is a little bit heavier. Could be good with a steak, right? I guess a stout would probably be heavier, go with a steak.
Yeah. I mean, my job specifically doesn't really do that, and I think that it's definitely a cool thing for people to have that conversation with, especially, just a example, we do Cajun style food at the place that I work at. It's a Louisiana style Cajun style restaurant. And so we do a lot of fish, we do a lot of seafood, but it does come with heavier roux, it does come with heavier sauces and stuff. So if somebody's going to order that, for example, I'm going to offer them a glass of white wine that pairs with seafood. If they ask me what I would like them to pair it with. burgers, go well with IPAs. The heaviness of a burger gets like pretty much kind of like washed down by the lightness, the crispness, the whatever flavors in the IPA. So I think, yeah, I would definitely suggest it if you asked, and that's something that I do enjoy doing. So I would love to have that conversation with my guests. I'd love to have that conversation with people.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Now, I remember probably was a while ago. I think I remember this correctly. But you were looking to try to pair, because you said you were like a dance teacher as well. You were trying to pair dance and beer. Has that something you still trying to do, or did you just say,
yeah.
work?
No, yeah. Specifically with teaching, I do teach younger kids. So like you would probably never yeah.
This is a stout.
Can't do that.
Twerk for a stout.
Right.
We gonna read about her on Channel 6. I know.
That's been a huge controversy in Florida already. That's a whole nother thing. But that's with teachers having alcohol pages, or even just being bartenders is an issue with a lot of counties in Florida, which is crazy to me because we don't get paid.
People in their etiquettes that change daily to fit their agendas.
Yeah.
I mean, not to go off on a tangent, but that goes back to like the whole Carol Baskin and the Tiger King, debacle. Like she's condemning what he's doing, and she's, she's basically doing the same thing.
It's funny because when it was, this is just, tangent building on you. When it was Big Cat on Easy Street, that was like 15, 20 minutes away from my childhood home. I know exactly where that was. And we all know, like, as growing up in Jacksonville, we're all like, no, she was doing the same things. Like, she was buying her cats. I was like, what? So she moved to South Florida
and not paying none of her people.
No.
Nothing.
No.
Making her husband disappear.
Right.
Right.
It's supposed to show that's business.
But I digress.
The same business.
He said,
gotta feed your husband to the tigers.
He said, I'm not going to go on a tangent, but here I go.
Here that tangent goes. We're about to go down a rabbit hole.
That's good business, though. You just change the name. Like, do the same thing, call it something different.
Sanctuary.
So why do you think
sanctuary? You win.
Yeah.
So Charlie, why do you think? Back to your point about people having conflict or having their own agendas around professionals or teachers having these pages. Like, what are some of the stereotypes that they put with it? Is it just simply because they don't think that like education goes everything is education every day we walk around. So like, why do you think, or what are some of the feedback that you heard that really is kind of have these people against having these separate pages?
So one of the biggest issues in certain counties in Florida is that you just cannot promote the consumption of alcohol if you're going to be a teacher. So a lot of teachers are servers. A lot of people do that on the side. You just can't be behind the bar. You can't be actually pouring, serving, doing that. Which is definitely more my speed. I love bartending. Like, I'm not quite ready to give it up. It's a lot of fun for me. It's my creative outlet besides from dance. So, that would be hard for me to be like, okay, I gotta hang this up now. On top of that, like, I think there was just like there was an article a little while ago that came out, and all of the craft beer women were sharing it. And they're like, this dumpster fire of an article somehow got published, but basically saying that all these stereotypes about women in craft beer, and we're not even really going so much into the male perspective of this, and what you guys think about it and how you guys would get treated, because I've really only seen this happen to women in this situation. Right. But basically saying that, if we order a beer, we're more likely to sleep with you that night, or if we order a beer, we're more likely to do this, or we're more likely to portray ourselves this way, or if we do this.
I've been around girls that drink beer, and I ain't never got none.
He's like, from my experience.
It never ended in a. It never ended happily. It never ended happily.
Those niggas be fighting.
Well, you just killed that stereotype right there, yo. It's not true.
It's not true. And so I think definitely like thinking about people in education that way and saying like, well, if you're teaching my young student and you're going out on the weekend on your free time and doing this with it, then how am I supposed to trust that you're going to lead my student to be a good person morally, academically?
But the parent is in the brewery drinking with you.
Drinking with you.
Yeah.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Right. Because they need a break from that youngster.
We take them.
Why can't Charlie and people like Charlie get paid for doing the same thing? That's stupid. That's ridiculous.
Yeah. So it's definitely something that I think the conversation really needs to be opened up a lot more.
Yeah.
Because like you just said, the parents are there sitting with us then, that Saturday afternoon in the exact same brewery. And chances are, if it's a family-friendly brewery, the kids are sitting right there too.
Right.
So it's, I've had the luck to never have run into any of my students' parents or never have had that awkward situation happen. But yeah, I think it's definitely something that's more of an old school kind of adage. I think a lot of people think when you go out to drink, you're going out to get drunk. And in our community, of course, I'm going to go out and get a buzz some days a week. But sometimes it's like, no, my favorite brewery just had a new release, and I'd really like to go taste what they're pouring that day.
Exactly.
It's a networking. It's a networking thing. Like
it is
networking, socializing, and the fact of the matter, like as you were talking about, kind of like the conversation being opened up. I know for me, personal stories. A lot of my friends, whether they were undergrads or that are grown and didn't go the traditional route and decided to go back to school, a lot of them are working in the food industry or the bar industry to help pay for grad school or help supplemental income, because that's just an industry where the pay might not be that great, but the tips are there so that they can kind of really make that money as quickly as they can to pay whatever. And it doesn't matter if you're going into education as your profession or you're going to kind of run the company as a CEO. I mean, all of us are destined at some level to be some type of in a leadership role. I mean, at least that's what probably most of us want to aspire to be. So whether you're trying to take over education or to take over freaking a Fortune 500 company, you're going to be, in a role where you're going to, you're going to want to be successful. So,
and I think it's character development too. I think it's about, when it comes to working in the service industry, I was retail for a couple of years, and then I got into bartending, and then I got into serving and bartending. And my little sister's been a server for, as long as she's been able to work too. And I think that character development that comes from it is something that you can only learn in a service industry job where you're a customer service type of job. And so I always encourage people to do it. I always say, go do it. One, it's the easiest money. You're going to get messy. You're going to get gross. You're going to spill food on yourself. You're going to spill beer on yourself. But, the money's good and you'll learn so much from it.
That's what they call rolling up your sleeves, right? Getting in there.
All right.
Yeah.
So that's dope. But yeah, I definitely think the dance and the pairing the dance with the beer is kind of cool. Like a stout. What's the dance style for a stout?
I like that idea. I've never even thought of it that way. That's cool.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm writing that one down.
That's what we're here for.
10%.
I think mine with it was going more with the education standpoint, but so many dancers who I know, most of my friends are dancers, and so many of them, same thing. They're like, yeah, I would love for you to show me some new breweries, some new beers to try. And mine would be just sitting down and having conversations about both industries and educating people on what we do on an everyday basis, or what a teacher's life is like on an everyday basis, or what, so that That was kind of where I was going with that, but
my
I
bad.
like your idea. That's fun. That would be kind of cool. I'll have to look. I'll have to think more about that.
I mean, because I was thinking about while I was sitting here, I was like, if you look at a can, you can look at the beautiful artwork, and then you can say, well, if it's an IPA, it has the floral hops, and so it's more flowy dance in terms of, but a stout might be a little more rugged. So,
I was going to say a stout is
Twerking?
definitely more of your hip hop.
Yeah, there you go.
Depending on what the stout is. If it's a war cloud stout, that's gonna be a crunking session. But
yeah.
There you go. I like that.
All right, we did. Before we go too far, we did have Dame jump on with us. How are you, sir?
Yo, thank you for inviting me, man. I'm sorry I was late. Had some running around to do, so happy to join everybody today.
Welcome, bro.
Thank
Glad
you,
to
sir.
have you here.
You going by Dame Vision or just Dame?
Dame, that's fine. This is my first time being on this thing, man. I just tried to rush to get on here for y'all, so I got my whole full government name on there.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, or I could try to change
You
it.
can change it if you want.
Yeah. If somebody can change it for me, that's fine.
What beer are you drinking right now?
So I'm not really a beer drinker. I drink Crown, but I grabbed this the other day when you told me about it. I don't even know what this is. Honeysuckle Rose.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
That's good.
We had
What brewing company?
It's a Delaware. It's Smyrna, Delaware. Earl Brewing.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. We've been there, Rob.
We had that beer on the show before.
Yeah, that beer was on the show, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
Is that a song? Isn't that a song or something?
Yeah. It is.
Yeah, I think it was like one of our first or second episodes or something like that.
Yeah.
We had it. All right. Well, I want to thank Charlie for giving us her rundown. So we're going to jump to the next guest, Vince. How are you, sir?
Shit.
I'm good.
You left?
No, I'm good.
He said, drop the mic, boom.
He said, I'm about to give me some gin. He did it.
Right. Just want to check with you.
You gotta thug it out. You gotta thug it out with the beer, man.
he got his beer though. He got his beer.
Yeah, he got one.
Yeah. I mean, so don't get me wrong. Like I'll drink beer, right? But my go-to is gin and whiskey, right? Hibiki or Hendrix, Bombay Sapphire East. Just to plug a couple. But that's not about this. This podcast isn't about that right now. It's about beer.
It's about whatever you do.
Well, but my beer choices are. I do go with. Obviously, this is probably a weak choice.
Don't say it on the show if it's mainstream.
He said it's a weak choice. I go with water and
lemon in it, cucumber.
I go to nice Coors Light.
Don't say
Light.
Oh, the water.
No. So if I do keep beer in my fridge, honestly, it is Stella. I keep probably like 6 Stella in there just to sip on. I think that's an easy go-to. But like I said, I've had Hoegaarden. I've tried some of the breweries out here. I've done Iron Hill Brewery, and when they do the little like they do the little
Flights.
taste.
The flights.
They'll have, like,
Iron
7
Hill is.
Did you say the kids pours?
No, don't do that. You can't say that, man.
He said those are kids.
It's a flight.
you about to
It's a
get
shot.
Charlie in trouble.
It's not a beer. It's
a
never a
kitty
kid's
cup.
pour.
Yes, can I have one of those kitty cups, please?
My beer with a sippy straw.
But I will tell you this though, guys. So here's an unknown fact. So I am originally from Colorado, and I am big on Fat Tire. So the first beer I tried when I was, I think 12 or 13. No, I was 12.
Whoa.
When I was coming back from Colorado to come back to Delaware was Fat Tire. Story is, my uncle said, look, I don't know the next time I'm going to see you. You might be 25, you might be 30. So I'm going to give you a little bit. And he poured, I don't know if you guys remember.
That's why he always say kid size.
Kid cup.
He's like, yo, he poured me a kid size. I mean,
Yeah, so he poured a little bit, and that was my first taste of beer. I guess that was my becoming of a man, right? That was that.
Yeah.
So
that's New Belgium, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep, that's New Belgium. I wasn't.
Yeah.
He got it early, Lou. I didn't taste Fat Tire until I was in my 30s.
I ain't tasted it till we was on this show.
I will say though, Iron Hill, that's where I first got that pineapple juicy IPA that I did, and it was called like
nice.
it was called
The juice box.
Yes,
The
the
juice
juice
box.
box,
Yeah.
and that's
We had it
probably
on
one
the
of my
podcast.
favorite beers.
Yeah,
That one is. It's
Charlie, that's from
delicious.
Delaware, Charlie.
I need to come up to Delaware.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
or Delaware could come to you. That's all. It's all
That-
good. You're in
that
Orlando.
That too.
No time soon.
See, that's what I'm trying to.
In Florida,
We
yes.
got
Florida,
a
yes.
trip slated for June, so I mean, we might be there as long
Beaches
as
is open in
this is
Jacksonville.
over.
What happened?
Florida's open. Florida's open
I said-
for business.
Well, the beaches are open in Florida,
Yeah.
in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's like, yeah, I won't be there.
Vince. No. Yeah, no. Look, beaches are open. That's a whole nother thing, whole nother conversation.
Well,
Yeah.
well, Vince, as you were kind of giving your, I guess you would say, kind of introductory into when you first taste craft beer. You know, last year I got an opportunity to take some of, like, I think of some of our Pass Me Anothers up to College Point, where Vince resides, to let him taste that peanut butter and jelly that we had, guys, on the podcast. He really enjoyed that. Like almost every time that we talk, he's like, "Yo, you gonna bring some more of them cans of peanut butter and jelly up here?" Or, you know. So I took a few of the samples that we had on the show up there, and that kind of, I think, that probably expanded your palate a bit to what craft beer was about. So I'll let you take it from there.
I agree. And, you know, just a little bit about also some of the things that are going on around me that actually pertains to beer. So I actually work within the entertainment industry, somewhat within the music industry. Was working with the heavy hitters, currently working with Lord Finesse, was DJ Enough, and Legendary Heavy Hitters. With that said, right, there comes parties, there's come functions and sponsorships. So I have had conversations with Constellation Brands regarding doing some of their beers. Obviously, they're well known for Corona, right? But it also enabled me to reach out to some other breweries, some smaller breweries, because that's excellent exposure for them, right? When we're talking about penetrating a different market or becoming a competitor in the market, I understand that this is an opportunity for them. So thanks to the podcast, quite honestly, it clicked in my head to say, hey, there's an opportunity there to make these linkages on my end. So, you know, that's some of the things that I do that pertains to this actual segment right here.
So Vince, once again, you're welcome.
That's 2 weeks in a row, baby. 2 weeks in a row. We got somebody.
Listen, look, absolutely. I mean, I think the podcast is good. It's lively. It's a great opportunity for individuals like myself to be comfortable, right?
Yeah.
I think education is key, but if you're not comfortable, you're not going to retain anything. So that's why I always try to listen in, or when I'm here, I'll come sit into the session and gain what other experience or education I can. So, you know, thank you guys. Appreciate it. No 10%, but
Yo, cheers to that. My cup is empty because my beer can is empty.
Cheers to that,
But
man.
cheers.
So this is a question. I'm still drinking out the bottle. I'm supposed to have a nice fancy beer mug.
Have some kind of cup you go to.
It's better in the glass, but
The glass,
You can see,
just to
just so you can see the
aesthetic,
pour, you can see the colors.
and you can see the colors. Yeah,
Yeah, it's
So
like
fine, man.
that's what
Don't
you
even worry
gather.
about it. You're doing right. You
But
doing
right, like I think that's something that I like touched on with friends too, is that, you know, they think like, oh, I have to have a really nice, you know, like Teku glass, or I have to have a really nice pint glass to pour on my beer in, and I'm like, just drink your beer. Just drink it. Like, however you want to drink your beer, drink it. If you want to pour it in a bowl, like what's controversial
Right.
how long ago, if you want to pour it in a bowl and get all the aromas and taste all the flavors at the same time, do it. But just drink your beer, enjoy it.
don't pour it in the
That's
bowl.
what's up.
Oh no, there was a bowl, a glass bowl that they were going around.
Oh,
they were
okay.
drinking out of. So it was
Yeah. A lot of
Is
breweries
that
made their
more
version of a glass
communal,
pour.
Rob?
no, it was just for you to drink, but it was to give. It was supposed to get all the flavors at one time, and so you get
I
all.
didn't know when you said there was a bowl going around that they drink.
Oh, no.
I said, dang. I'm like, is that communal? Because that ain't happening in 2020 no more.
No, a lot of people on Instagram were posting their picture of their bowl as they drank their beer.
I'm about to say we going back to the whole Catholic religion. Huh?
Oh no, any communal shit is done for 2020 and beyond. Oh, that's
Oh,
over.
yeah, definitely.
Not till 2022.
That's gone too. Everything.
Never again.
I'm never shaking no hands, but it's a salute. It's a peace.
Yeah.
It's a nod.
Foot shakes. Tap feet.
It's
Yep, everything's in
it's
tapping the
Wakanda
feet.
forever. Everybody, Wakanda forever. It's nothing else. I'm with Dr.
Oh,
Fauci. He said
man.
handshakes are done. Yep, Wakanda forever, baby. Holla at me.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's real, though.
He back.
It's the phone. I'm sorry about that.
He said, "Yep." They stopped talking
Oh,
about
baby.
him out of here.
You don't need a charger cord or anything, do you?
That's what I just ran for. But we're good.
Okay, got you.
We good.
Yo,
All right. Make sure that power supply is good.
So Vince, what do you got something coming up that you doing?
So that's interesting. So I was working on a podcast called Creative Moment, where I speak with creators of all nature, right? So the concept high level is, we know the Kanye, we know the Virgils, we know the big creators, but everyone is a creator conceptually every day, right? From cooks to, the microbreweries to even artists, right? So I wanted to focus on those individuals and speak to them and have their story shared. So that's one concept that I'm working on right now. There was actually a documentary that I was putting on about the New York City nightlife. I am friends with a guy who was a part owner in the legendary club Pasha, which is in New York. Huge EDM club, huge. Like people came there from globally to come to DJ or to participate in Pasha. So I wanted to do a documentary on his life from early 90s to current, right? Because he's gone from owning small bars in Sheepshead Bay in Brooklyn to owning Pasha to now he owns something in Williamsburg, Brooklyn, to also throwing large festivals, right? So I have different things I'm working on. Once again, they still also have this element of where I can pull in, beverage companies, right? Whether it's wine and spirits or even beer, right? So those are the things I'm working on currently. But obviously, with the world today, with the coronavirus, it halted a lot of the conversations and a lot of the movement. We are in April now, and quite frankly, for the business that I work within, the entertainment world, a lot of the things were being kicked off at this point, right? April is when you start to kick off festivals and parties. So a lot of the planning of that went out the door. But that's it for right now. But we'll see.
All right. Well, you said you were thinking about the podcast. Hey, this is the best time to just make it happen.
Right. You ain't doing nothing else.
I agree. And the one thing I'm very, very, very extremely passionate. So once I get that itch, I won't stop, but I haven't gotten the full itch yet. Right? I work with other creatives a lot, and I'm able to put out ideas and concepts. And hey, let's do this. For instance, this shirt right here. It's an artist, Alison Dacre. It's a Kobe legend hoodie, right? And it was when he passed, and it was more so to symbolize his greatness and to capture it.
Right.
So I'm able to put out concepts, and I can do that really well. So if it doesn't stick with me, I'll get it, create it, and pitch it. The podcast thing, I love the idea. I got the equipment, but I just haven't moved on it.
Yeah. Hey, but sometimes it takes moving on it to say, oh, okay, now I get it. I got it.
Yeah, my man, you say your name is Vince, right? What's your zodiac sign?
I'm an Aries. April 3rd.
I already knew it, bro. I'm the same way. I'm an Aries too. You got like we move different, man. Like we're very creative people, and we can be all over the place. But until we really want to do something, it's just gonna sit there until we get to it.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? And we're the type of people, we don't sit on things. We just put it out. We do it, put it out, move on to the next one. But if there's something that you got at plan, you're not going to do it until you're ready and you have everything lined up. So as soon as you said that, I knew you was an Aries.
Yeah.
That ties into like when the guest we had on the show that did the whole zodiac and the whole
human design.
Human Design.
Yeah.
We had on a few weeks back, about a month ago. So
AC Brown.
AC
Yeah,
Brown.
what
That's I couldn't
episode
think
is
of her
that?
name.
What episode is
I'll
that?
find it. I'll be back.
62?
62.
Episode 62.
62.
Yeah.
All right.
That sounds about right.
Yeah,
I gotta
and
check that out.
she does actual personal consultations. So we have that. Rob has a close, kind of connect.
Yes,
kind
he
of,
does.
not kind of, a connection with her because that's his college.
Yes, my college friend and my former writing partner.
Screenwriting partner. Yeah, so co-writing partner.
Yeah,
Yep.
she good
So-
though. It's like-
Yeah, it was enlightening. That episode was enlightening.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out.
All right. The other voice you heard was Dame Vision.
Dame
Where we
Vision.
go with that? I know. I mean, at one point, I don't know. Production,
You want to
photography.
You want to take it back that far? Damn.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that's how I remember at the beginning. And
Yeah.
I like that. It seems like he's taking notes.
Yeah,
That's
man,
cool.
yeah.
Appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. No,
Yeah, so-
I met Yoda. What 2001, 2003.
Was it that 2003?
Yeah, yeah.
that sounds
you
about right.
old, Yoda. You old.
Yeah, maybe 2003. Shut up.
So yeah, we connected via music, man. You know, he was a talented artist, so I just started making beats at the time, like digitally. I was from the MPC era, in Sonic ASR. So got a computer. He actually introduced me to what's called FL Studios now. It was Fruity Loops back then.
Yeah,
So he gave me the CD. I think Rob might have got him the CD.
yeah I think so.
He said, "Put this on your computer." I'm like, "Yo, what's this?" And it had all the stock sounds. I'm like, "Yo, this sounds is whack." But it got to be a way that we can sample on this joint. So I think maybe 2 weeks later, I called him over. He came over. I started playing the beats that I sampled on. He said, "Yo, how you do that?" I said, I just figure you can plug in, sounds into this." So I just started chopping up and sampling in there. Then come to find out, Ninth Wonder and other cats was already doing that. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's just like I said, back to creative minds. All we need is the tool, and we'll find a way to make things happen. So yeah, I started off in production. Never really got all the way into it because I'm a banker. I work at Citibank. So
Which I don't know why. He was a
I always felt like I'm either going to have to just totally give up my whole life and just pursue the music thing, or I'm going to have to just, I had a family, so I couldn't do that. So now I'm actually picking up the camera. I'm doing photography. I started doing weddings and stuff like that. That's not really my thing. I'm more into the creative side of that. So, I'm just doing that on the side. But yeah, I look forward to working with y'all too when y'all are back up and running, doing your podcast on site.
Yo, that's crazy because that was supposed to be this month, wasn't it?
Last month.
Last month, last month.
Last month.
Then this crap came up.
Yeah, the brew call.
I love doing events like that, so I'm looking forward to that.
And then like he try to talk. I hate Dame though. Like this nigga talks all modest. He real, I just I take pictures. You take some good pictures, yo. Like, yeah,
I mean, I'm not the photographer dude though. Like I try to play that hat, and it's not for me. Like doing weddings and I just want to. I'd rather be behind the scenes. I want to.
You need people. You need people to work for you. You have the vision of how you want your operations to be. Is that what you're saying? And you need people.
Well, I think more. He take more
like
artistic pictures and not like commercial like wedding stuff like that. His more like
a nigga sitting on a car or
artistic
like
pictures,
street photography, like anything creative, like family shoots. I'm cool with that. Anything where I can like pose families and stuff, but like Gordon event, Parks. Yeah. I'm gonna do like photo books and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like my trips, like travel photography. You know what I mean? When I go to New York, do my whole vacation, make that a whole book. Stuff like that.
Right.
You ever thought about getting into video?
Nah, it take up too much space on your computer, man.
Get an external drive, Dame.
Is that the whole reason?
No. I mean, I do video, but it's like I said, man. I don't like the tedious aspect of just editing and putting the video together. I'll do something real quick, but all that technical stuff, I just want to go with the flow, man. If it's something that I got to sit there and keep on messing with, it's not really for me.
Gotcha. All right.
These niggas lazy on this one.
I work a lot of hours, man.
All right. Any other questions for any of our guests before we jump to our second segment?
I did want to ask Hops and Charlie the question that about festivals in Florida. Being as though you're a bartender, like how many festivals per year, or just it's just being in that industry, do you get to attend, and any that you would recommend that Brews and Banter podcast might participate in?
Yeah. So I actually, this is the first year of my page, and I had never been to a beer fest until this year. This actually, like a week ago, was my anniversary for Hops and Charlie. So I think my first festival wasn't until July.
Okay.
That was my first ever beer fest, and it was a lot of fun. I think I went to about 5 or 6 in the year.
Okay.
I think I will give you my top 3.
Okay.
Morimoto Fest, which I don't know if you guys know Iron Chef Morimoto.
Right.
Yeah, he has a festival in Orlando at his Morimoto restaurant at Disney Springs. And it's
nice.
super small. Yeah, it's super small. It's super intimate. But each craft brewery that goes, so I hang out a lot with Tactical Brewing in
What
Orlando.
time of year is that?
He does it, I think, 2 times. Two times a year at Morimoto. Or I think Bree, the Pint-Sized Traveler, was telling me that he does it like seasonally. I'm not sure, but I know that they did 2 of them. So each brewery tells him which beer they're going to bring, and then he devises a dish that goes with it.
Nice.
So it's really cool.
Rob.
So each brewery that you see has a little stand right next to it that has the paired food. So I think theirs was an Imperial White Stout, and he paired with them like these duck pancakes, which was like super interesting, but they're really yummy. Yeah. So that one's a lot of fun just because it totally touches on the food and beer pairing that I love. And then Tom and Dan Bad at Business Fest was really, really awesome. And I think the best part about it was like completely free for people to go to. So it was like a sponsored festival and people could just come. And I thought that was so much fun because a lot of people's reservations are that they just don't have the money to spend on a beer fest. So that one was really cool because they could go and experience everything. And then honestly, you got to come out for Centermost Point Festival in Orlando. That's during Orlando Beer Week. Everybody shows up, shows out. It's a blast, honestly. All of the breweries do their best stuff. Everybody from Orlando, Tampa, Jacksonville, Miami, all these places, everybody comes up to hang out. And it's honestly just a blast. All of Florida comes out for that one.
We are back on episode 67. I don't even know if I said 67 when I first started.
You did not.
I did not. This is episode 67 of Brews and Banter podcast, and it is time for
his game music, guys.
Pops.
I'm mad Joe bopping your head to this.
who doesn't bop their head to the
Why? I'm about to say, who don't like this song?
I do.
You work too hard.
Or look.
You don't have enough head space.
Look, no diss or the white people clap.
That was a total.
But you got
total
it's
diss.
just a bounce actually though, because they
Yeah, they do bounce.
I don't think that's the white people. I think
it,
that's
bro.
how they tell you.
That's just the sound.
Clap.
But you know that's all.
Come on, man.
You know, our clap would be opposite of that clap. That clap
I was gonna
is the
say,
white
that was
clap.
on the 1
you
and the
do
3.
know that, right?
On the 1 and the 3. We're on the 2 and the 4.
Yeah, that's all.
But I think they tell you to clap like that. I'm sure.
On the show,
Who told him no? Who told him no?
Oh, I don't know. Who told them?
But I know who told him. I could guess the demographic.
But maybe
Well, that would be different.
it probably looked better on camera instead of this.
right.
It'd be opposite. Like it's going to church.
Everybody in the crowd bobbing like that, Rob. That's tight.
Right.
That's dope.
Yeah, but
After that music.
They gotta change the music. Again, the demographic. Who wrote the song? Who wrote that beat?
Everybody going to sleep at your party.
That's church.
Exactly.
No, church can go to church, and you know.
Devin would know he's on his way after the pod is over.
Out.
Oh, Dave on his way to church.
Yeah, right after the pod is over.
It's Sunday. It's Sunday.
Yeah, it is.
Oh shit!
Maybe you need to go.
Who?
Yeah.
Which one?
When last time you been?
Who, me?
Online
Yeah,
church.
when last time you been?
Man,
All
I
right.
did go this morning, but I
It is time for Would You Rather?
Would you rather?
All right. The first question would be, would you rather be able to teleport anywhere or be able to read minds?
I'm a teleport. That's beneficial to me.
Yo, I already can read mine, so I'm teleporting.
Oh, shit.
Hey,
Ooh.
who says that?
I can read your mind, man. I know what you're thinking.
I think I'd rather teleport.
I think teleport. I think like one of the biggest things that I've learned is like other people's thoughts about you are not your business. So it's like I don't need to know. Like whatever people think about you, I don't need. I'd rather be able to teleport.
Teleport.
That's
I want to
real.
go. I
That's
want to go
real.
places.
Who wouldn't want to be in
beneficial.
Paris for lunch?
Right.
Like, come on.
That's kind of dope. That's kind of
That's what
dope.
I'm trying to do. It's not beneficial for me to know what somebody else is thinking.
Yeah, especially right now. If you teleport, you ain't got to get on an airplane. You ain't got to worry about
Right.
no corona.
Quarantine.
You can teleport
Food.
with your mask on.
Yeah.
You ain't even got to take it off.
Damn, you're a genius.
Yeah.
She is.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna read minds though. I'm gonna read your PIN number.
Till you find out they ain't got no money.
Hey, go to the right people though. I'm gonna hang around the right folks. I'm like, oh yeah, your PIN number is what?
It's mine now. Your PIN number's mine now.
Need that banking information, that
You're a
password.
thief. I didn't know Rob was a criminal until the podcast.
It's not a. Is it a crime if they give it to you?
They didn't give it to you. You took it.
Do they know? Do they know they're giving it to you?
He's like, yeah. So I just got your PIN number.
Do about it. What are we
Like,
gonna
how?
do?
Don't worry about it. I got it.
But you said it to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's not a crime.
Right, what? I don't think know how people really truly think about you. That's probably kind of cool to know. I don't know.
What did you pick, Rob? What is your pick?
My pick is read minds.
Read minds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I read minds.
Dame, how long you been reading minds?
Since I was a kid, man. It's not hard. You can tell by body language, everything. You don't really gotta go into people's phones and look at their text messages. You can tell what's going on.
What I'm
so you see
what I'm thinking about right now?
Oh, so you CIA right there.
So it's different. It's not like that. It's not like
Oh,
that.
yeah,
man.
well,
It's not like
you
that.
you talking about with your lady? Oh, okay, I get it.
No, not with my lady. Anybody around you.
You can definitely read energy. I get what you're
Right.
saying. You can read energy.
So they gotta be in your area, in your space.
And interacting. And probably interacting, right?
Definitely.
Not really, because I read people without even like talking to them. It's just they've been around in the space. But
so you're a mind reader too.
I ain't no mind reader, but I know when some bullshit is going on.
Actually, I take it back. I don't think I want to read minds, especially in today's climate. I'm sure reading Dr. Fauci's head probably wouldn't be helpful. He probably like, we're all fucked. We're all fucked.
The world's ending. The world's ending.
I mean, he probably like, I'm glad I'm 77.
Right. Did my time.
He living his best life.
All right. Here's another one. Oh, snap. Would you rather be able to lie and no one ever knows, or be able to tell when someone is lying?
I would like to be able to lie. I would like to be able to lie and no one knows. Because normally you can tell when somebody lying.
Yeah, I think that would get you a lot. I think that would get you a lot farther in life. I'm gonna go with the lie.
I think I'd rather be able to lie. Because I don't know if I want to know always when someone is lying to me. Like, if I'm like, do I look good in this? And then they're like, yeah, girl.
Classic woman
no,
question.
Man, take it off. Like, I don't know if I want to
They be
know.
like that.
I just want to
They be like that ugly shit.
Like, I think I just want to be like, you like my hair like this? Yeah, babe, I
Right.
love that. And then it's like, no, that color's not for you. And then I'm just now my feelings are hurt. You know,
Right.
like,
You're like, oh, what? You'd be like, yeah, that look good, girl. Where the?
That's true. That's true. Because then you find out people are bullshitting you all the time. You're like,
well,
so you
shit.
lie.
You can't
So
trust
I'm
nobody.
lying.
Then you got trust
idea by you.
issues.
I want to run this idea. That's a brilliant concept. That shit is trash.
It's never gonna go anywhere.
Right.
I'm thinking just thinking how I can incorporate the first question with the second one, so we can teleport where we want to, and then lie to the people where we are. Wow, we living our
It's a
best
wrap.
life. Game vision. Wherever you want.
That's true. Right, you could be the ambassador of
stuff.
somewhere. You teleport to France, you be the ambassador of I'm the ambassador of U.S. Yeah.
I am. Can't you tell?
So look, I'm about to change my background to San Francisco. There go my teleport. And tell y'all, look, I'll see y'all when I get back from Cali.
Word.
There you go. All right, here's we got two more. Would you rather travel the world for a year on a shoestring budget, or stay in only one country for a year but live in luxury?
Stay in one country for a year. I live in luxury.
Yeah, I'm already doing the first one. You doing the second one.
I think I've always said that, like, if I were to be able to travel, like, I don't care how much money I actually have to do it. Like, I would just want to do it. Especially when I think I would go with the first one. Yeah.
Fill my passport up. I'm with Charlie and Dan.
Fill my passport with the stamp.
What y'all gonna do when y'all out? Because y'all ain't got no money.
I'm walking around
So much to do.
Just sightseeing for museums.
It's free.
It's a lot of stuff that's free, bro.
That's been the best part about traveling, is like going and doing hikes, or going and, going to the beach, or going to see their bodies of water or whatever. All that's free.
That's all free.
That's all free travel, but it's the coolest stuff you'll see.
So they'd be like, "Oh, this brewery over here. Did you know about it?" You would try to go in there with no money.
That's true.
What if you got all the money? What if you got all the money and you like in Slovakia or something?
I said luxury.
I'm living in luxury.
Who knows what that luxury is, though?
But luxury is luxury.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. What if you're in a third world country? It's not always luxurious.
Third world country luxury is like, I think the place that I'm looking for in Thailand right now, like, because I'm trying to do Thailand like by next year. It was supposed to be this year, but clearly that's not happening. And like luxury for them is like a hotel that's like $36 a night for us.
Oh wow!
And it's nice. Like, it's like a treehouse hotel with, like, you can see out into the world.
Yeah. See. There you go.
I'm gonna go with the hostels, though.
Yeah, see, up until 10 years ago, I probably would have picked the first one, but then I saw Hostel.
You ain't the type, though. You definitely not the type. You're not the type, Rob. They don't want you.
Did you see Hostels?
I seen both of them.
You'll find
There's a hostel that's in Miami. That's a really cool hostel, but I would probably still never do the hostel thing. I don't think I can.
But Charlie, you have to on a shoestring budget.
On a shoestring budget, you got to.
You gotta be up there.
You may not make it back out, but hey, you travel.
Yeah,
No, but there's a guy who actually is walking around the world. He doesn't use anything, but he has camping gear and he sleeps outside. So you can technically do that on a shoestring budget.
What is that? There's a website and it's couch surfing. You can couch surf for free.
Yeah, you can couch surf. Yeah.
Until somebody kills you.
Yeah.
Well,
man, that's always. I mean, that can happen anywhere.
They have to do like
and luxury. That can happen.
You think that's gonna happen to your luxury? You should have security if you live in luxury.
Yeah, but
I feel like if you had money, it would be more likely to happen to you in luxury. You got hits on you then.
I mean, but it's crazy. Truth be told, we're doing like Dame said. We're doing number one now. We wish, or we're hopeful that we get to see the whole world with whatever job we have, the time and vacation, and the money that we budget for travel. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, we're all kind of doing number one right now.
Already.
Yeah,
because we can't just afford to just go ahead and say I'm in Ireland tomorrow or next week. I'm in this place.
In my mind, they say you can go to every country on a shoestring budget means you have enough money to get to the next country.
Well, yeah.
But you still gotta live.
That's kind of like now.
Like in the next year on the shoestring budget, I can go wherever I want. Like, no, you going to Orlando in a couple of months. Where else? In Pittsburgh.
I'm trying to eat the finest foods there, man. I'm trying to do what I can do.
But the finest food isn't always the most expensive. That's the thing. The finest.
Different cultures is different.
In France, like you can go to
that bat in Houdan.
In France, you can go to a Michelin star restaurant. It's $30 a person.
Wow.
Right, and you can eat that beetle in what was it? Beetle in Ethiopia? Was it Ethiopia?
Harlan said he ate a beetle.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Pate beetle. That pate beetle.
That was the twice baked beetle. It was
Twice
baked beetle.
They took the insides out and put them back in after they roasted the beetle.
And pate the insides.
Oh no, I'm experimental. I don't know if I could do a pate beetle.
Yeah, you could. You could.
Well,
you ever heard of scrapple? Scrapple is pate.
Sure is. I had some last week.
It is.
It's very, very good.
What's your reminder? What is turkey scrapple?
It's the same thing that pork scrapple is. The scraps.
Just scraps.
Guts, turkey gizzards.
Yeah, it's the scraps. Put it
knuckles,
and they mix that thing up real nice and neat. Put it in a brick.
I mean, I've never had it.
It's scrapped for a reason.
Put that thing in that grinder like Carol Baskin.
Like you can't even be mad at if you get like a stomach ache or number because they told you it was scrap right
It was scraps.
So like, do y'all eat like the gizzards or anything? Like
only in scrap.
That's like the whole. You do?
I used to use chicken gizzards and chicken livers back in the day.
Yeah, that's like the funny. Like Thanksgiving is like we eat the turkey and like my mom's family like loves the gizzards. Like I don't know if that was just like something that was like everywhere. Like
that gravy.
Yeah, I might make gravy with them, but I ain't eating them like.
But see, I only like them fried actually, and then I used to throw a lot of ketchup like
hot sauce
and hot sauce on them. I probably didn't like them in the first place.
Yeah,
and they was all like. It was like dry and gamey.
Chewy.
Yeah.
Well, especially gizzards. Gizzards are extra chewy. Liver is not too much. Liver is more pate.
Liver just has that aftertaste though. That like I can't do.
Fried corner on 4th and Market. Yo, they make some gizzards, baby. Fry them things up.
Well, they fry anything. If you bring it to them, they'll fry anything.
In the same grease.
They
fry everything in the same grease.
Yeah, they will fry anything. You got it.
Had the imitation crab and everything out of there.
You walk in there and be like, I got this nigga here right here. What can you do? Like, give it to us.
Yo, you order chicken from there, it's gonna taste like fish.
Yep.
Fish from there, it's gonna taste like fish.
Allegedly.
Yo, fried corner was the spot. Yo,
allegedly.
I'll be like, yo, put that hot sauce and ketchup in that salt and pepper on my thing before you wrap it up. I tell you when to stop. Hold on. That's good. That's good.
All right, here's the last.
That's a throwback for real, man. You on it, man.
Yeah, it is.
They up, yo, but more.
I don't know.
Are they still open?
I don't know. Are they still open?
It's a fried corner on Vandiver and by your house, Rob.
Okay, I'll be there, Lou, when I'm meeting you.
But it's closed though. It's closed for the quarantine.
Oh, gotcha. All right, here's the last one. This is an interesting one. Would you rather wake up as a new random person every year and have full control of them for the whole year, or once a week spend a day inside a stranger without having any control of them?
Yo, I want the second one.
Yo,
I want to know who the real, Mansons and stuff are, the crazies. I want to be.
So it's not like being John Malkovich because you don't got control of him if you take over from him for a week,
right?
For a day during a week.
Yeah,
right. That was a recent movie too, where it was like they woke up as a different person every single day, though, and they had control over that person, but they woke up every single day as a different person. I don't know. That's a tough.
I'm going with number 2.
I might fool with that first one.
The first one would be pretty cool. Yeah. A random person every.
What if he's homeless?
A year though.
What if he's homeless?
Year?
You only got 1 day.
Actually, no. I would go number 2 because that after I'm done, I'm sure a good book in terms of perspective would be amazing.
Yeah, you get some good wisdom. Yep.
I don't need no control because that could be a millionaire. It could be whoever. It could be, you know what I mean, and have them control. Yeah,
but I could.
So you
think
have
about
no
the
control,
ones.
though.
Think about the ones that aren't the cool ones. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know.
Like
That's
you
my
in a homeless man's body for a year. You got control, but you still homeless at January 1st.
Yeah,
I'm not even thinking about homeless people. I'm talking about like the people who are just like, wrong in every sense of the word. Like the people who hurt other people who hurt children or animals or whatever. Like if you're in that stranger's body and you have no control over that for an entire week, like that's a long time to be somebody who you don't like.
Right.
Like
true.
that's and it's only a week.
Look,
but a year if you had
we got
control
killed
of somebody
6
like
people.
that.
Look, I don't like who I am sometimes at night. So yes.
Or who are you at night?
Right? What the fuck was that about?
We didn't talk to Adrian.
What are you, a werewolf that night?
I might be. I might be during this quarantine. I might be a werewolf at night.
Me too.
That was
We're
creepy.
not even talking about that.
Yeah, that could be that 1 week, and you can't control it because you could be at a Klan rally.
Yeah, you
Right,
can't
you can
control
be-
that.
I want all parts. I want to know what these crazy people are doing.
But then you actually get to see what their mindset is and why they feel. So yeah, it could have, unless they do something
what if
crazy.
they suicidal?
Wow. Shit. But say they suicidal, but that don't
Jump
affect,
into
that
the
don't
next
affect me.
I was gonna say, why didn't you just jump into the next
Yeah, I don't think that affect me.
Why?
That affects them.
Why?
Right,
I'm
'cause
just-
you out
have
of
no
it.
control.
You out of it.
Yeah, but I can't stop them. But then I'll just
Right,
jump
what if
to
he
my
kills
next
you?
spot.
How? And you supposed to be there for a week. What if he killed himself in?
I thought it was
Yeah,
one
but-
day.
It's
No, that's a movie. That's a movie.
once a week.
The question was
Spend-
once
Oh
a
no,
week. Yeah.
it is once a
one
week.
day.
Spend a day inside. Yeah, it's only a day. So yeah,
Oh, it's only a day.
Okay.
A day for once a
Maybe
week.
he
I'll do
ain't
that.
killing that day.
Yeah.
yeah, or killing
He may
himself
be
that day.
prepping, he may be prepping that
But
day.
what if it is
Not-
that
not
day?
necessarily
What if it is
killing.
that day? What if it's that day?
You might can't control him, but maybe you can control. Maybe you can think something. Maybe be like you are worth
You
it,
can't control
sir.
that's controlling.
That's not necessarily control.
He said you
That's
are
not
worth it,
control.
sir.
You
That's not
were
control.
worth it, sir.
I'm stupid.
That's not necessarily control. That's like subconscious. You can be like, do I really want to do this today?
But a year inside of someone else, like,
Yes.
how would you ever be able to like create your own self?
Right. Yeah,
You know what
exactly.
I'm saying? Because like, especially like if you came into somebody's like marriage, they have their wife, they have their husband, they have their kids, they have whatever, and so you have to kind of be that person, because if you all of a sudden change and you're like not that person, then it could completely
Exactly.
ruin that person's life, and you're only there for a year.
Well, I think the randomness is throwing me off. Now, if I could pick
Hard.
and I pick like if I jumped in Jay-Z's body for a year, I think I'd be all right.
Yeah, me too.
I knew you was gonna say that.
You never know.
You know what?
You never know. You
I'm
never
glad
You
know.
gotta wire that money out into your old accounts.
Hey, I could do a lot of
I'll be
things
all right.
in Jay-Z's body for a year.
He'll be broke in a year.
I was about to say,
He'll be broke in a year. He won't be rapping at all for that year.
That ain't got nothing to do with me.
They be like, suddenly Beyonce's pregnant again. Where did that?
What you're doing?
Jay-Z.
no, you gotta wait at least like 4 months in for that, because then by the next year, then that's no longer Jay-Z's baby.
Yeah. Oh.
No.
If you do it at the beginning of the year, it only takes 9 months to have a baby.
Oh,
It's still Jay-Z's baby.
But if I'm in
I'll be
Jay-Z's
stepping.
body, I'd be good. Yeah, Stedman's good.
I'll be
yeah.
Stedman. Yeah.
Stedman's solid. Yeah.
I don't know. What perks does he truly have?
Oh yeah, he got them perks.
He got some.
That's why he's still
Real
around.
money.
Exactly.
Man, that dude get money.
He got an allowance.
Well, he works
Hey,
too. That's
If
not
his
like
allowance,
he-
Man.
allowance $3 million
Y'all
a
said-
week.
But y'all said his name in connection to her. So therefore, like, what perks does he really have other than his own?
What? I mean, who knows how Oprah give it up? You don't know.
Right.
Oprah can keep that.
Oprah might be a freak.
Right.
Oprah can keep that.
Yeah, you say that because you don't
I'm
know.
saying it. I'm saying it. She can keep it.
He ain't stay around for 25 years for nothing.
Right.
I would have been broke
That's
off and wrote my
look,
book.
dog.
I would have wrote the book by now.
That's us in 50 years.
He don't gotta write a book, though.
You know what I mean, that's us in
He
50
got
years.
a $3 million a week allowance.
Right.
What did he book for?
Right.
He ain't got no
good.
$3 million a week allowance.
Man.
Who knows?
He stayed in the pool house for 14 days the other day before he was able to come back in. He good.
She old school. She still want to be. She old school. She still want to be wine and dine, even though she could pay for everything.
That's fine.
I was listening to something. They
I
said
make $3
Stedman-
million a week.
Look, at the end of the day, every wholesome woman, regardless of if she make more than the guy or not, she want to be taken care of. So
But
I don't
Stedman-
care if she
to
got.
be
I don't
truthful,
care if she
Stedman does
got
have his
80
own
million.
job.
Right.
I don't care
Stedman
about if she got 80 million. She's gonna want to be taken care of by that man.
Ain't he like a lawyer or something?
Yeah,
but then-
or
then I-
or investment guy or something.
Yeah,
But I don't
he got
think,
some-
I don't
he got
think Oprah built like that. I think
Right.
she don't care. She do what I mean. She's already taken care of by everybody else. He just had to take care of her mentally and spiritually and maybe physically. I don't know.
But I heard that he was
financially-
I disagree. I
Financially,
disagree.
I don't think she cared.
I
Well,
think
she
the
got
heart of
everything
every
she
woman,
wanted.
the heart of every woman, they want to be able to turn off that, that
that role when they're at home.
How
They
does
don't
you
want to
speaking
still
for a
be.
woman?
Yeah, at home.
How you speaking for a woman?
It ain't financially
I'm married to one nigga for 10 to 11 years. I know what
at
it's like.
home.
But that's your woman, though. That ain't all women.
She ain't Oprah. She ain't 90.
I think I got a pretty good idea of what
That's your
what women want. If y'all didn't
She
figure that out and y'all been married all this time, then y'all got a long way to go.
Nah, you
She
know
ain't a
what
billionaire.
my woman
Oprah either,
wants. Like,
she ain't billionaire.
Right.
Oprah billionaire.
It don't matter. Any woman that's got their own, they still don't want. They don't want no man to take theirs.
Hey,
They
put a poll up.
that a
Put
man
a
can
poll
take
up.
care of theirs.
Let's make a poll.
No. Well, one, because if you billionaire, because one, Simmons already in her house. It's a billionaire. It's her house. He's already there. So right there is tell you you're wrong right there.
It don't matter. It's like, okay, so Todd.
Dave can't be
how
wrong.
else
He can't be wrong.
How
Todd
else
and
you take care
Katie
of
are
it?
a classic example, right?
You can't take care of
She's in
Oprah
his-
unless
she's
it's
in-
mentally, physically, or emotionally. You can't
Right,
take care of
'cause she got
Oprah
the money
financially.
already. Yeah.
She's a billionaire.
You
can't take care of her
That
financially.
still mean
don't
when
care
she
if
go
you
out
take her
to
to dinner.
that still don't mean when she go out to a restaurant she won't pull out her credit card too.
I'm sure
She Oprah. It's free.
Right. The restaurant is paying her.
She don't want to pull out her credit card when she with her husband or with her.
She don't got
mate.
to.
They don't
It's
got
free.
But like, okay, so Steven's making his own money, sure, but how much of that money is a joint income type money? How much of that is coming from Oprah's wallet too?
This is the thing. I was listening to something maybe like last month, and they were saying that Stedman was like part of the reason why she's so successful. He helped her with a lot of stuff. So it's
because of the investments. Because of the investments.
Right.
Exactly.
And so I don't know what Devin's talking about.
You don't have to know what I'm talking about. It sounds like that. A lot of y'all might as well claim exempt on y'all. Like y'all not. Are you head of household or what? What's going on?
No more beers
like
for
y'all want
Dave.
roles reversed.
No more beers for Dave.
What are you
Sounds
talking
like
about?
He obviously he got to be
You
drunk.
comparing Oprah to
your wife.
And
To your wife.
That's not even the same. That's not even the
Right.
same
So
atmosphere.
you said take the poll, Lou.
That's not-
If your
that's
wife
not the same
had
atmosphere,
$1
though.
would you let her pull her? Would you let her
What's the
pull her
poll gonna
credit
be?
card out when
How much money do I have?
You want to take care of?
Is that million my million?
This how I know you. This how I know you wrong because I'm sure.
Because it's different. Because
Stedman
Oprah is famous. When Oprah walk in the restaurant, they say it's free.
That does matter.
I'm sure
They say
Stedman
it's on us. If my wife is unknown and she got $1 million, it's different. Maybe I will.
Different. You pull your wallet
They've been
out.
walking in, nobody's paying.
Look,
they eating good
Are you
in the neighborhood.
opening doors for her either because she got a driver to open the door?
Devin's right.
I'm sure Stedman
Can we just
asked.
say Devin's right and move
I'm
on?
sure Stedman asked Oprah to marry him a couple times. She said, "Get the fuck out of here, son."
You stay right there. You stay right there.
All assumptions. All assumptions.
That's why they ain't married. It ain't assumptions. She said she don't never want to be married. She told you that.
But she
Right in the
wanted to
face.
keep him around. But he's still around.
Right.
But he's still around.
She said, "All I need."
We're gonna ask the woman on the podcast since us dudes, leading with our of our heads.
She told you already.
Her statement was that a lot of the money that Oprah has is linked to
Ask Charlie. Ask Charlie.
Get your right question.
Ask Charlie the question that's key to your answer.
That's what her statement was. She didn't answer the question.
Go ahead, ask. Go ahead, ask so we can move on.
Right. If she had the question is, if you had your own and your husband had his own and you were making more than him, do you want to pull your wallet or your credit card out when y'all go to dinner or go out on a date? Do you want to pay for it, or because that's what it really boils down to, or do you want him to pay the bill?
I think from my perspective, and I'm sure there's many women that are out there that would disagree with me or will agree with me. If I got it and I want to do it, I will. And if I got it and I'm the only one who's got it, because there's been situations where I was in a relationship with somebody and I truly cared for them and I was the only one who had it. And I paid for everything. And I'm fine with that. That's fine with me. I'm not coming off of I'm gonna do for my man whatever I need to. No. And yeah, of course, if he wants to save up the money and buy me something nice, if he wants to be like, hey, I have this job now and I really want to take you out to dinner and I want to make sure that you're the one that's being treated, then great. But I think when it comes to, we're specifically talking about Oprah right now, in comparison to other women. And let's just be honest, Oprah's got it.
Right.
And
You got all of it.
All of
All of it.
and so when it comes to that, of course she's, of course every girl loves to see, loves to do the fake wallet grab. But I'm just saying, I feel like when I do it, when a lot of women do it, and when Oprah specifically does it, it's not a fake wallet grab. It's just, this is the bill, this is the tab, we're
Right.
going to pay for it.
I'm
Whether it's
Oprah.
my credit card or your credit card, it's got to be paid regardless. And I'm not going to feel like I'm being neglected as a woman because I'm the one that's paying for it. I'm not going to feel like, that's just,
You want us to go to another woman, Devin?
No, it sounds like Dave needs to talk to his wife.
It's actually 7 people on here. So Lou, thank you for your comments. It sounds like maybe Vince wants to give his perspective.
Absolutely, they can. You said you the one that said let's ask the woman,
Right.
We did.
and you wrong.
We did.
So let's ask the rest of the men.
no, he's not necessarily
I'm
wrong
successful
because
in what I'm doing.
if his wife wants to be taken care of, if she has decided, hey, when we go out to
Exactly.
dinner, I
Right.
expect you
We're not denying that.
That's why I said his
Yeah,
wife.
They've been saying that's how it
All
should be.
women.
And
Yeah.
that's
They've been saying that's how it
90%
should
of
be.
women.
And we're saying
That's not
everybody
90%.
I said
Yeah.
90% of women. Your wife is
90%.
one person.
Yeah, your
say
wife is not the
90%.
epitome of all the women in the world. She's not an example for
I'm not, but I know how women are raised, and I know how.
Wow, yo, oh my
No, you
God.
don't, Devin.
All right, it's time for the next game show.
What the fuck is it? You know what? I gotta go. On that note,
You do. You gotta
because your
go
wife
on.
and his wife,
Go ahead, Vince.
your wife
Go
and his
ahead,
wife
Vince.
was raised by the same person.
Because
Go
at
ahead,
the end of the day, it's the same household. So
Right,
at the
go
end of the
ahead,
day,
Vince.
you could
Go
just be
ahead, Vince.
sliding the money over and still
Go ahead,
It's
Vince.
just merged. It's all merged anyway.
Right.
It's, not in my house, and most millionaires will tell
So
you it's
just
not
say
all
not your
together.
house. So we're gonna
That's
keep it to your
the
house.
point. That's the exact point. Not
Go ahead,
in
Vince.
your
Go ahead,
house.
Vince. Go ahead,
Your
Vince.
is the word.
Go
Go ahead,
ahead,
Vince.
So I'm gonna just say this. I'm a real quiet guy. I don't really speak a lot until I need to or whatever. I just sit back. But what I think the point that Dev is trying to make is that intrinsically a woman has certain, whether her value in monetary value, financial wealth is very high or she doesn't have it, there's a certain level of care or in she wants a certain thing. And I think, and I would agree with Deb, I think it's majority women. Regardless of their wealth, they still would like for certain things to happen. Regardless if she can buy the whole restaurant, regardless of if they're going to give her food for free, women still want certain things that are intrinsically that they want their man to do or to provide.
Right. I think
yeah,
that's
but
what
can I make a
Hey,
point
the lady
really quick,
speaking.
though? Like, I'm like, this is just coming, like, sure, yeah, okay, so my parents raised 3 very, very independent women, probably
Correct.
to a fault. But just saying, in that perspective, every single man, when he has a cold, what is he doing? Laying on the couch waiting for his wife to bring him dinner. So it's not one of those things where women are just waiting to be taken care of monetarily,
Right.
physically, emotionally by that man. Anybody wants to be taken care of by anybody,
Right.
in any sense of that word. And so when it comes to that, if that's your argument, you got to look at it by what do you want to be taken care of? What is your thing that you need to have taken care of by your spouse or by your person? So if your wife's is that she wants to be treated and she wants to be taken care of financially, physically, whatever, then that's fine. If yours is that you want to be taken care of emotionally, you want to be taken care of mentally by her, everybody wants to be taken care of. And I don't think that necessarily boils down to just the female side wants to be taken care of. I think that's anybody.
Right.
So it's men like to take that provider role because, yeah, sure, you guys were the hunter-gatherers for how long? I get it. Whatever. Biologically, you guys want to be that provider. However, in most situations, the woman is providing something, and it's just because we're not.
I don't discount that. The question was,
I'm about to tell Adrian she can stop working.
Just because we're not out hunting.
She actually can. Thank you. She's already been given that option, but thank you, Yoda, for having given my wife that option because you don't have to.
Yeah, I
got
it.
I mean, I guess that's kind of my whole perspective on that because.
But it's not
everybody needs.
I think that wasn't really the basis. The basis of is like Oprah, for example, the example that we're talking about is Oprah is in a sense she's a mogul. She has her own.
The matter is, okay, when she's off, even as being the famous person that she is, right? It's when she's off that stage or she's out of that limelight. At the end of the day, she still has obviously wants, needs, and expectations.
But that's nothing to do with financial. That's emotional, physical, and spiritual.
That still has expectations.
We'd have to ask
what
Oprah,
she
though.
wants from her mate.
That's probably emotional, spiritual, and physical.
Maybe she doesn't. That's just like Whoopi Goldberg saying, "I don't want to get married. I don't want anybody in my house." Whoopi Goldberg's got her own. She doesn't want anybody in her house.
So hold on. We're speaking generalizations first of all. So if it was never about. So first, we pick people that are completely in a different atmosphere that are horrible examples because of they've acquired and they're at a certain level, right?
Well, that was the example, and he took it to everybody.
Right.
The example was Oprah.
Right.
Yeah, I get Oprah, but I'm saying generally
women, not Oprah. It was generally the women.
But that's like mansplaining women. Like how you know?
Right.
What
That's what I
about.
said from the gate. Like I was like, how is Dad explaining what a woman wants?
We're at a place societally that
like I said, because I'm married to one.
Right. We gotta stop generalizing.
That's one. That ain't a million. It's like 3 billion women in the world. They all want what Adrian want. That's not true.
No, nobody's saying what she wants.
That's what you're saying.
What she wants. What I'm saying is, for example, you're the head of your household, Lou. Yoda, you the head of your household. Rob, you the head of your household.
We have a partnership. We have a partnership.
You can call it a partnership all you want. Guess what? When that mortgage is paid, you pay that mortgage.
We partner. Partnership.
That's not how it works in my house.
That's your household. We're a partnership right here.
There you go. You can say all you want.
I just told you. I told you.
My name on that mortgage, though.
I just told you.
When it's my name on that mortgage, though, who is paying that mortgage? When that's my house, if it says Charlotte Fisher on that mortgage, at the end of the day, yeah, maybe both of us are putting it in. But if it's by your example, then that's my mortgage. Right. I'm paying that. So that's a. I'm not saying that's a poor example, but I'm just like I think we've gotten to a place societally that generalizing what humans want just doesn't really work anymore. Right. I think it's gotten to a point now where what works for you and your household is what works for you and your household. And that's beautiful. How you decide you decide to see your marriage, if your wife has decided on her own and with you that you are the head of y'all's household, that is fantastic. She has decided that is who you are in your role, and that's amazing. If Rob has decided that him and his wife are a partnership, there is no head of the household. They make their decisions together. And we have to stop assuming that just because a woman is in a certain position, financially, whatever, that she wants to be taken care of. Because quite frankly, we don't know what Oprah wants unless we sit down with Oprah and say, what do you want?
Like Vince said, we made a lot of generalizations. It sounds like Rob knows her personally from the way he spoke.
I didn't speak. No, I didn't.
I just said
this comes from the nigga that asked like every woman in the world.
I just said she was a billionaire, so financially.
But one thing I know is a statement that I coined is you do need to know when to lead and when to follow. So that could be a role of a woman, and that could be a role of a man.
So here's the general thing though. You don't go out and become a billionaire because you want to depend on other motherfuckers. You don't. You become a billionaire because you know you is that shit in the deal.
When you become a billionaire, you do depend on other people because you don't do it yourself.
Yeah, but you don't have that goal to become a billionaire. You don't become the billionaire because
you just made.
You don't become a billionaire. You don't become a billionaire because you want that. You want that. You want to be dominant.
Act like Stedman is second fiddle. Like Stedman is in a partnership with Oprah.
I shouldn't have said nothing. I brought Stedman up. I shouldn't have said nothing.
Stedman's in a partnership with Oprah. Go Stedman.
Go ahead, Dane.
I already think like they probably don't even have no financial arguments. That's
No, they probably don't.
That's your Rob's point. It's more spiritual, like you know what I mean.
Right. Emotionally, spiritual, physically.
She had a substance abuse issue in her early years. She might be still dealing with that. Like he probably got to deal with all other kinds of stuff besides financial stuff.
And they both not worried about the financial. Stedman ain't poor.
Right.
Stedman ain't looking for no stimulus check in the next couple weeks, yo.
Right.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be getting one.
No. He wouldn't be with him. Also wouldn't be with him No, he all right.
Oprah and them the ones sending out the stimulus checks.
But regardless, Oprah loved him either way, and he didn't have the money. And Oprah found him, loved him, whatever, and she did, like Rob said, take care of him in a different way. Then I don't think it would really matter to her.
Birthday gifts for herself too, huh?
Moving on, Rob. Don't respond, please. Just moving on.
You got it.
Moving on.
Nothing doing nothing.
Moving on, please.
That's ridiculous.
That's why he said he can't go to Orlando on his
Dev, it's over.
That was a partnership. That's
right.
That's a definite partnership. Why he can't go? He gotta ask his wife and make sure.
Right.
He not trying to have that in his household. That all that roughness.
And he ain't going nowhere on his anniversary until it's clear.
I am not going to Orlando to drink beer on my anniversary without my wife.
Exactly.
No.
He talking foolishness now.
You not either, Devin.
Exactly.
You not either.
I'm probably planning that getaway. You right?
Okay, I can't wait. I can't wait to hear how that go.
All right, it's time.
So I'm good.
It's time for Name That Tune from the Hot 100 of 2010. It's not that hard.
Why are you doing this? Rob, why are you doing this?
Well, some people. I mean, I was.
Dame left.
Damn, I was
Dame
30.
just left.
I was 30 something.
I'm still here. I had to get my thoughts.
2010, I was 31. So some people might have been 9.
Oh shit! Good Lord.
I'm just joking. She came in the brewery and she's 9, but still.
I was what?
Oh God!
It
was 10 years ago. 10 years ago.
14.
Hey man, she got a good head on her shoulders though.
So she probably came
a lot of younger women ain't like that.
She probably knows all these songs then, because 14-year-olds are in that bag. This is their area.
We knew the 90s. I was too late in the 90s to know the 90s song. Like it was too far. It's too far. Yeah. I didn't know.
Let's see what we got.
All right, I'm actually gonna start it off kind of hard, I guess. Well, for some people, maybe.
It's too late to apologize.
Damn, is that what it was?
Hold on, say that again.
Is that
too
it?
late to apologize.
Apologize.
Is that what it is? That ain't it.
That's not it. Right artist. Right artist.
Who sang that song?
I forget that guy's name.
I thought that was the song when she said it.
It's the artist. I could hear that same melody.
What was the artist? I ain't hear it.
She played some more, Rob.
Yeah,
because right after that they're gonna start singing the chorus.
Isn't that Justin? That's not Justin Timberlake.
No. You had the right artist. You had the right artist, but
she just know the song. She don't know who sing it.
Yeah.
No, I will never know who sings it. That's true.
Hold on, she said the artist. What was the artist?
Well, she had the right artist.
She said the name of the song.
Yeah, that guy who sings "Too Late to Apologize" is the same artist.
Oh, okay, I got you.
I don't know who.
I don't know either one.
I'm using my phone right now.
It?
It's One Republic.
One Republic.
I would have never got that.
Nope.
The song is.
Right.
Oh.
I didn't really listen to that.
They did a mix with that song and Too Late, and it sounded like that.
Yeah,
like,
probably.
Yeah.
All right, all the right moves by One Republic. I know it's gonna be hard for some of you guys. You're like, yo, where that Wu-Tang at?
Damn.
Yeah,
I was confident too.
I know you was all loud.
She was on the second beat.
I purposely made this a little harder because I know some of these cats ain't gonna get any of these.
Thanks, Rob.
You're welcome. Because y'all got the other ones real easy. Here we go. This is probably easy.
Greetings, loved ones.
That's Usher.
California Girls.
There it
Katy
is.
Perry and Snoop Dogg.
No, man. I'm not gonna get any of
Ready.
these.
Oh, cater to a 14-year-old girl.
Unforgettable.
Top 40, top 100.
This is 14-year-old girl music.
Yeah,
Right.
it does.
And that's not us.
Yeah, but to be fair, all the ones I picked, I know what these songs are.
I'm not denying what I said. It's still a great description.
Right, it is. I'm just saying I didn't pick anything that I didn't know. Like all the ones that are picked.
I know.
But I can go from Wu-Tang to.
I know the songs, but I know the songs when she says them, but I ain't picking up on them like.
All right, here. You might be able to pick this one. This is the easy one. You should be able to pick up this one, though.
Hey, when I give you
Trey Songz.
Don't move my shit, man.
No, don't do that again. Say wasn't it?
Say
Say
There you go.
Oh, say yeah, thirsty.
What?
I
know you're thirsty.
Don't move my shit, man. Oh, baby.
Yeah, see, I was partying doing that. Like,
you was drinking too. Forgot all the
yeah.
Probably can get this one. This is a classic from 2010.
5-year drink. Hey, nah, Rihanna. Oh, what's my name?
Rude Boy.
Rude Boy, there you go. Rude Boy.
I knew it was Rihanna or something.
I know you knew it was Rihanna.
Hell yeah. Girl, I remember that video.
Come on, rude boy.
Yeah, rude boy.
Now,
yo, Yoda, you turning dirty this episode. You dirty Yoda.
I'm sure everybody knew this song. Even if you don't like this song, you know the song.
Wake up in the morning, feel
like P. Diddy. Kesha.
That was Kesha. What's the name of the song?
That's a famous app now.
TikTok.
TikTok. Yeah, it's a famous app now. I wonder
you getting any money for that?
From. I know, because that's probably where they took it from.
Yeah, you know they did.
Probably.
Here's another one.
I'll be very texted in the gooseberry.
Oh, sister.
Soul Sister by Train.
Yep, there it is.
I knew the song. I know the
I know the titles.
Yeah. I don't know the artist or the titles to any of this.
All right, let me do it again. Get a little bit. 5 seconds.
You late. They already named it.
You already got it.
We already know.
Next song.
Here's another one.
It's like I'm back.
now we murderers because we kill time.
That's Lil Wayne.
Oh, baby. I was 11, I think, when that song came out. And I was singing My Room is the G-Spot. I don't think my parents are
yeah, okay, that's a song.
That's Bedrock.
Bedrock.
I couldn't start it off at the beginning because it actually started with Bedrock.
What's that boy's name? Young Lloyd?
That wasn't even a bad song. That song wasn't even bad, yo.
No, it gets to Nicki Minaj and it's like,
she got that good, baby. She Michael Jackson bad.
Ooh, baby.
Yeah.
Attractive ass.
being 11 and knowing all of Nicki's rap in that part. That was
that's horrible. I don't know what's worse, that you were 11 or that you knew the words.
Come on, man.
I might have been closer to 13. I might have been closer to 13.
Did you understand what they were saying though?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, because Nicki's verse literally goes like, okay, I get it. Let me think, I guess it's my turn. I guess it's time to put this, on your sideburns. And I was listening to it and I'm like, yup. I guess it's time. Did I know? No.
She said, yup, I guess it's time.
She knew, but she didn't know.
So what my daughter, she's 13, I'll be like, yo, do you even know?
I
What
know. That's what I be saying
Oh,
too.
okay. I'm gonna tell you from a middle school teacher's perspective. 100%, your daughter knows.
Oh yeah, they know.
Nowadays, nowadays.
I will say though, like if you have taught her what, not necessarily what goes on or whatever, but how to think for herself, she's not gonna necessarily think about what it is, or it's not gonna have any context for her right away.
Right.
But she will know what they're talking about.
Oh yeah, they
especially
know.
right now. And they will.
Yeah, we know.
Tell
I know
people
we
that they
know.
No, she.
Yeah.
You can't. You
She
can't
dropping
know
gems right now.
No, it's true though. Like it's true. Like I've had 6th graders say some nasty things to me working in certain schools. You know, 6th grade boys say some nasty things to me, and I just straight up say like, "Do you know what that is?"
Right.
And I just wait till they stumble on themselves
My
because they've
daughter
heard
is
it.
great.
They know what it is. They've heard about it, but they don't know what it. Like they're not quite at the place where they can really connect it unless something has happened. But
Yeah.
so if you're really worried about it, like talk to her about it, but just be like,
No, I'm not
as
worried.
long
I just
as
be like, yo, why? You know what they mean? What you know what they talking about? I want her to
But
be
she does,
educated.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
She does, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Here's another one.
There you go. Messed up their lives.
No.
That's Beyonce. Beautiful something. Beautiful Nightmare.
Beautiful Nightmare.
Beautiful Nightmare. Yeah.
It's technically called Sweet Dreams.
Sweet Dreams. Okay.
Sweet Dreams.
Are a beautiful nightmare. Yeah,
I kind of forgot Beyonce did that song. I'm not even gonna lie.
It
Yo,
reminds me of
pulled
Michael
up from
Jackson
3 on
song.
that one.
Huh?
I said you pulled up from 3 on that one.
Man.
Yo, he got that one in the Rihanna. He know them songs.
That's because the wife be thinking she Beyonce. That's why.
In the cut.
See the beehive.
Yeah.
Here's my other one. Oh.
Hey, Dougie. Wait, who's that by?
I don't know who's
Franchise Boys. No.
Cali Swag District. Just keep
I
me
would
up
never
there.
got. I would never got that answer.
Which funny because on the thing it says it got hot in 2010, but it actually I guess they made it in 2004. I don't know if that even accurate, but that's what it says on.
That could be because it sounds like it.
That's what it said on
you really think about
it probably went viral.
Because that's why I said the Franchise Boys, because it sounded like one of their Jones.
Yeah, it did. Here is it's kind of easy.
That's Drake.
Find
your love. There you go.
Yeah, I was great. I listen so much. I listen so much Drake. I can't.
I need to find your love.
Find your love.
Find your love. Yeah.
I'm more than just.
And he in the same household as you. Devin.
Yeah, we in different ranks. We in different rooms.
He was like 10 minutes later. That's great.
You're stupid.
Here's a popular one.
If I could write you a song to make you fall in love, I would.
Oh, wasn't that Bruno? It wasn't Bruno Mars then, was it? No.
I don't know the name. I don't know the artist.
I know the
song.
I
don't even know that song.
It was Cooler Than Me with it was Cooler Than Me by oh dang it. His name is escaping me.
Do they say in the church? Is that the same person?
No, that's Hosier.
No, that's Hosier.
This is Mike Posner.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Know him by name. Don't know him by name.
Is he still singing?
Yes, Posner. He's a producer though.
Yeah.
Mike Posner does a lot of really good productions.
Yeah, I like his name a lot.
That was a good song too. Drake sick of these niggas. Say no. Yo, but that's what the beginning of that's what the beginning of sound like.
It's 2010.
I know.
2010.
They just sped it up.
Oh shit!
Does Eminem feature on this song?
He does not.
Yeah, it do. I get where Dev was going with that. It sounds like.
Come on, that's like one of the biggest songs of 2010.
I know the song.
I know. I can hear it, but I can't think of like what it's called. I can hear it's a girl's voice.
Is it a girl's voice?
No, I don't think.
It is a girl's voice, but
yeah,
she sings the chorus.
She comes in with the airplane.
B.O.B.
Yes.
B.O.B.
I know.
Yeah.
He started Bruno Mars' career. Come on now. B.O.B. don't get enough credit.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. I ain't listen to that though.
Nothing on you, right?
Yep, nothing on you. Yep. Here you go.
Just gonna stand there. Oh, there's Eminem and Rihanna. Love the way you lie.
There it is. Love the way you lie. Now this might be a little harder because I know.
I thought Lou was going to get that one.
Now I thought it was going to be you. That's your two favorite artists.
I know. I don't know. See who get this. I don't know if anybody gets this. We'll see.
Neon Trees. Neon Trees. Dang it.
Man, cut her mic off.
Right? Why is she playing?
Here we go again. I kind of not animals. Animals.
Yeah, there you go. Animals. See,
there it is.
I picked this category because I knew
it
probably fits your warehouse. I knew 90s R&B and 90s hip hop probably wouldn't go, but I knew top 40 even 10 years ago is probably around. She said she's 14, so 14 is like music.
All they doing is
all the time. All they're doing is listening to music.
But yeah, I love this song. You don't like this song? Come on,
I love
I was listening to all this music when I was 30.
I think that style of music is so universal to everybody. Like once you start listening to it, it's a party. Honestly,
right? Here we go again.
No, I'll pass.
Two people dancing.
Yes,
That's Pink.
Yes.
I'm sure you heard. No, it's not Pink. It's Neon Trees.
Neon Trees.
I'll pass.
I want some more.
Yeah, she sound like she just stole Pink's whole persona, or he.
Pink though, early 2000s, 2010. I mean, even now, Pink, like, I mean, she dominated. She still does.
I feel like
Pink got a song with Lead out that I like.
Yeah.
Do you remember when L.A. Reid tried to make her an R&B song? I'm singing though.
That first album.
Oh yeah.
I thought she got into the game. That's how she got
She
into the game.
did?
She said,
Please.
she said,
straight R&B, like none of that pop music.
Really?
She ain't played. She just got into. She did what she needed to do to get in, and then she said,
Played it.
I mean, Kid Rock did the same thing.
Yep.
Do you guys remember JoJo at all? Like JoJo? Yeah.
I'm listening to some of her first records in this. Yeah.
I
think her demo was like weak by SWV when she first was trying to sing.
Yeah. But she just did an interview, and she just dropped a new album like at you know how many years later, and she straight up said like they tried to make me an R&B gospel artist, and I didn't realize what it meant to people at the time, and I said no, like I'm a white woman, and this is not what resonates with me, and I'm not going to take that from people. And it was just like
she was an artist who definitely
her music is still kind of R&B-ish.
Because
she takes like kind of the flavor of it, but she like straight up said like I'm not about to claim this as my style. Like I'm not about to say like that's
because she was her voice was always way more mature, like almost like Jasmine Sullivan. They didn't really know what to do with her as an artist.
Right.
It kind of had to shelve her until her age caught up with her sound.
Yeah, she was like 10 singing like oh.
But I was like that's incredibly respectable to hear somebody say that in this industry, to not say that they're going to leech off of a different style just to get famous, just to make their money, you know?
Right. Yeah. I think we have 3 more.
What'd you say, Vince? Hold on. What'd you say, Vince?
You know, the industry is full of that. It's full of taking styles, culture, and using it to make your own created person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, you see that. So to your point, that is admirable that she said, I'm not going to steal and leech from that, right? I want to be
who I am,
unique and organic to who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that is dope. She just put out a new video. I just seen some PR girl that I know sent me a video of JoJo dancing around her house on the table and on some shit like that.
Yeah, she do a lot of pole work. She do a lot of pole work.
Oh, okay.
She does. I mean, it's not. I mean, this is true. I'm not saying.
Looking it up now.
She does a lot of pole work.
Listen to Dan looking it up now.
I'm just saying, if I had the upper body strength, if I had the upper body strength, I should
get that siren for that joint.
Yeah, you should.
I think it always.
You take a poll around them 6-year-olds, Charlie, you in trouble.
So actually,
funny thing is,
that's a funny topic right now because so many people so many people still sexualize pole dancing because of what it can be. But like my little sister's best friend at 14 won national pole dancing competitions at 14.
Not my daughter. Not mine.
I don't want to watch that competition.
Not my baby.
I don't wanna watch that competition.
But it's not sexual. It's gymnastics.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta admit, it is a lot of upper body strength. It is. But
it is definitely a ballet. For sure.
It does have some negative connotations that they have not gotten
For
away.
sure. Definitely.
Does your sister's best friend, she don't have no heels on or nothing, does she?
No. It's like when you see when you see like gymnastics competitions, like when you watch like the Olympics or whatever, they're wearing like the same kind of leotards, the same kind of skirt cuts, like and they're not wearing any shoes or anything like that. There's no type of sexuality added to it. It's simply just the acrobatics of it.
Yeah, it's like the uneven bars, but vertical. Right.
Yeah, well, just do the uneven.
That ain't at my daughter's gymnastics class. They don't got that there.
All right. So just do the uneven pole thing. Yeah.
All right. Here's an easy one.
Popping bottles in the ice like a blizzard.
I know, like a G6, like a G6. I don't know.
Like a G6. There you go.
Who the artist?
I don't know who the artist is.
Far East Movement.
Okay.
That seems like some rave music.
That was 2010?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a long time ago now.
It is.
That was a big record.
Yeah, it was. Like 3-6. I like G6. Hey.
Who was that again? Who's that artist?
The Far East Movement.
Is anything else happening with them?
Oh, I don't know. I don't think so. I think they Far East Movement. Move. All right, we got a bit. That was 3, so we got 2 more left. This might be a little more difficult.
Are you playing it?
Yeah.
I remember years ago, someone told me.
Yeah, you got the melody.
That doesn't help, Dev.
That's all I know.
That's every beat. You riff like everything.
I mean,
I just know the melodies. I don't know none of these artists.
Right. Now, all the time there's something to say. You're going to say.
There you go, Charlie. Get him.
Tell them I was on that song, but I can't remember what the name of it is.
It's called Impossible by Chantel. I don't even know
when it comes to love.
I did, but you know the song. You don't know the song?
No.
I never heard this.
Never heard
this song.
It's a pretty song. It's a pretty song.
No. Send me this whole playlist, Rob.
Yo, 2010, Dick was already out, so I don't know none of these songs.
Yo, this is off the Glee soundtrack that Rob watched. Sorry.
I like Glee was solid for the first two seasons. I don't care.
Never watched it. I'm just saying.
Hey.
I never watched Glee, but I watched the competition they had to like find the new Glee cast people.
Okay.
Did y'all ever watch that?
No.
That was cool. It was a competition to find like who would be the next person on the next season. It was
nice.
Sick. Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna end it off on one of my special songs of 2010. I'm sure no one will get this.
As he laughs.
As he giggles.
Yeah.
That was an evil laugh.
Just leave a message.
What is that? I don't know what that is.
No one.
No, I do know that song, but I can't.
What's a hint? What's a hint, Rob? Give us a hint.
There's no who?
Charlie.
Proof wasn't out in 2010.
Who knows?
2010.
I guessed.
Play the next part.
The next part might give it a well, not necessarily if you don't know the song.
No, I do know the song though, but keep playing it.
The beat change.
I'm holding on, and I need you now.
There you go.
Shit, not Little Big Town.
No.
I know the song. I know the song now. I just don't know the name.
She's thinking about it.
Why are you holding your ears?
And I need you now because it's helping me. It's helping me. I have small ears, so my headphones will fall out so easily.
I thought you was doing like a singer, like trying to check your monitor. Like I can't hear myself on this side.
Oh, I can't think of the name.
I know the song now. I just don't know the name of it and the artist.
I literally have it on my playlist. I just
Kind of
I can't see
funny
the name.
because they were on Songland on last Monday. If you watch the show, Songland, they were on there. A great show. You should watch it if you don't watch it.
They don't start with a P.
Run that back.
Harmony.
Play the chorus.
Let's play the chorus because she don't know.
Is it
Yo, I know
Harmony?
that was a good song. That's a good song.
I don't know where the chorus starts, but
Picture perfect memories scattered all around.
Yeah, I remember that.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wait till you when you hear the chorus, you're gonna know the
Reaching
song.
for
That sound like 88. That don't sound like 2010.
Debbie Gibson,
That sound like 1988. What it sound like?
Yeah, it's a big song. There it is.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah,
it was on the
that's a big
soundtrack
song.
to something.
Said I wouldn't call, but I lost all
Wasn't that on the
control
soundtrack?
and I need you
I don't know. I just
now.
know it as Lady Antebellum.
Lady
Lady
Antebellum. I was
Yeah.
I've heard of them.
confused.
I've heard of them before.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you for playing. Name that 2000
That was rough.
tune. You did horribly.
That was rough.
All of them.
I got 0
Charlie-
points.
Charlie
Sorry.
did pretty good. She did solid. She got
Okay, well, okay.
Get one.
at least majority of it. If she didn't know the name, she knew the song.
The melody
Or
and we
vice versa.
vice versa.
I'm really not good at knowing the names and the artists. I'm not.
Back to Yoda's point, 2009, 2010s when all the internet rappers like Wiz and Drake and all them took
Yeah,
over.
like
So
I
he was all into that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I was into that too, but I still knew these cats. I know Wale. I loved Wale before Wale was even popular.
Were they
Yeah.
top 40 yet though, or were they still?
Nah, it was like a crazy.
Well, no, Drake
mixtape.
was top 40 by then because his mixtape was already
Yeah.
actually debut album. That's the debut album, so it was before. Because the debut album was worse than his mixtape.
Yeah,
That's true. That's true.
All right. Well, I thank everyone for coming out this afternoon. Before we wrap up, I need to know where we can find everybody on social media. We will start with the lady in the house. So, Charlie, how can people find you on these social media platforms?
Yeah, Hops and Charlie _ in between each word.
All right.
That was a weird way to say that.
Well, it's like, do I say it like Hops _
There
and _ Charlie?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Devin _
Right.
Vince, how about you?
Under construction right now, big bro. Was on IG, but I took it down for a minute, rebuilding.
All right. Dan got a couple of them. So how can they find you, Dan?
Yeah, my joint is a low profile, but somebody stole my name, man. I tried to come back and somebody took my name, but it's Dame EAMA _ Vision 302.
You got another one too, right?
Mother
You got another.
The film joint. I'm still building that one up. So
Yeah, well, I mean, got something on there.
I
Got
think that's
something on
Dame Vision. Dame Film.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And Brew Crew, Dev.
You can find me on Instagram at DevonAaron _ great.
Yo.
For all your beer needs, New Belgium. For all your t-shirt needs, In the Margin Tees. You guys know it. I'm on them Instagrams.
Word.
I did what Devin did.
Oh, I see. So you can find me 302 Yoda at 302 Yoda on Instagram and on another world grind on Instagram.
Follow me to the promised land, Lou. Follow me.
I will, Dev.
And you can find Brews and Banter Podcast at Brews and Banter Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Make sure you check us out on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, anywhere you listen to podcasts. We are there. iTunes Radios, Pandora. Yep, we are there. Check us out.
Hold on, Rob. Let them know. Ever since we've been doing this social distancing series, we are currently on YouTube. We got a YouTube.
You got YouTube. Yeah, so you can check this out on YouTube a couple days after the podcast drops on Tuesday.
Robert, like
there's a lot of editing that goes involved into this, even though it may look easy, right? Rob got a hard job to do.
Yeah, especially the video part. Until next time, this has been episode 67. Peace.
Have a good weekend.